Hey everybody, welcome to the Gauche. How is everybody doing out there today? So I did forget to put the copyright disclaimer because we'll be discussing some things, so I will play that real quick before we really get into it. And my mouse just stopped responding. All right. Sorry, everybody, about that. All right. So, finally got things going. Finally. We are ready to rumble. We had a lot of technical issues today. So another PC altogether, just to get this thing working. So we got it working. Thankful, very thankful for all of you guys' help in the community. Can't thank you guys enough. Thank you, Dragonfly Kisses. Quick acknowledgement to you for your donation today earlier. So thank you for that. As my system is still trying to catch up with me here. Bear with me, everyone. Haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to get the latest and greatest from the Gauche. Yes, we're going to be talking about some things such as a World Series win of the Houston Astros. So I know there's some people out there that are celebrating, including Brandon. In case you're watching, buddy, congrats on your team. I don't personally follow baseball, but it looked like it was a pretty exciting ending. So that's a moment to celebrate. So pretty cool. We're going to be talking about Lindsay Lohan on her return to the silver screen through Netflix. She's got a new Christmas special coming out, movie-wise. I think it's actually already been released. I'm kind of curious to see what everybody's input is on the show. If you have watched it, if not, then maybe some encouragement to give it a shot, because it's a hit or miss for me when it comes to Lindsay Lohan. I appreciated her acting. It's too bad that she fell into that whole that pit where certain other actors do, and then try to make a comeback. So we'll talk more about that here in just a few moments as well. And are you thankful for this holiday season? What are you thankful for? Talk all about that right after this intro video. Stay tuned. And we're back. Welcome to the screen. You'll see here is my wonderful wife, Gina. Say hello, Gina.
Hello, everybody. I'm here. I'm glad to be here.
Say hello to our chat real quick. We see a lot of, quite a few turned out tonight. So thanks for staying up late and experiencing
thanks for your patience.
the turn back of the clocks.
That's what it was. We were trying to go with the rhythm of the clocks changing back. So
right.
really we're on time.
We're, In
an hour from now, we'll be ahead of time. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I hope they'll accept that. No, really, I've been up, I think, you've been at it all day. I lost track of time because of how much I had to do just to get this thing back together in working condition, at least. So I want to make sure that we get the video content out there for you guys. The community is important. I don't want you to think we're ghosting you, because we're not. I don't talk a whole lot. If I don't talk a whole lot, rather, in Telegram, it's because I'm here working on this. So thanks for your patience, everybody. All right. So thanks, everybody, for coming in, tuning in. And I forgot my background music's not actually loading, but maybe I can get something else here. Woo. There we go. Little kind of techno in the background there.
I don't hear that part.
Sorry about that. I'll figure that one out too eventually. Maybe I can get her to somehow dual link the headphones. You know, the classic way of doing things, like, your couples would just take one earbud and then the other would take the other earbud, and then it would be so cute. And now if we could just do that with the Wi-Fi side of these headphones, where I can, here you go, and there you go. So yes, don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Want to keep this community alive and floating, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit that like button for sure. And if you want to get alerted about when content comes out, make sure you hit that bell bottom button, the notification button. Thank you, Dragonfly Kisses. Laura, what's up? Tammy, how you doing? Good to see you. Lisa, our happy bunny. Carrie, welcome. Lisa J. Okay, that is the bunny I just mentioned. Let me just repeat everybody's names about 20 times. B Stoned. I'm sorry.
Is that Lisa giving a hoot?
She's giving a
the owls.
Hopping hoot. Hi from Winnipeg, Canada. Wow. B, didn't even know. You may have said it, but hey, from Canada, man, that's cool. Almost literally. I wonder how cold it is up there. We're still down here in Florida, and at least it's like night.
Still in what, the 80s?
Night owls. Oh, got it.
Yeah. Night owls we are. Well, depending on where you're watching from, it might be an early bird.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. The early bird special. You all get the worms. I mean, we're not worms, but at least I hope not. Anyway, so let's go and talk about it. How many in here are fans of Lindsay Lohan? Press 1 if you are. Let me go ahead. Actually, I could probably do a QA. Oh, there's a QA now on this thing I can do. I didn't know that. Oh, since I hit 250 subscribers, I could do like different things now. Like QA, I can engage with that. I don't know how to do that. I guess I'm gonna try doing it. I don't know. I'll see what happens. Let's do a QA. Do you? Lohan. Oh, that just completely switched up my chat box. I don't know how this works, but we're trying it. Did anything pop up for you?
Are you a fan? And then it says ask something.
What happens if you click on ask something? This is like I'm a nerd trying to figure out new things. So
that would just be me sending a question.
Oh, so it's like so it's a topic or something, and then I would say, okay, if you have any questions about that topic, specific to.
Yeah.
This is so new.
Let's see.
It's an experiment, y'all. We're just.
Question sent. So is
2 a.m.
I guess it's being sent to you.
All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, she was in Freaky Friday is one of the few movies that I recall.
That's the one that really stood out for me too. I agree.
That most people recognize her from.
She's not a bad actress. It's just like Mean Girls. A lot of people reference her too. I don't actually. That was not one of my favorite movies. I mean, well, I grew up in the bullying industry as far as being bullied growing up, so it wasn't exactly my favorite film. But you know, she had done a couple of different movies. And then, of course, you know, she did a little Spiral. And then she kind of did what Robert Downey Jr. did. She kind of tried to pull herself together and then come back out with this Christmas special on Netflix. Let me transition real quick. So this is what's posted on her Twitter feed. And the title is Jingle Bell Rock, Falling for Christmas. Her song, Jingle Bell Rock, well, she did a little number. What was the same song as it was in Mean Girls, when they did that little talent kind of show thing. The 4 girls on the stage, they kicked the CD player. They had to improv. You know that. Yeah, Parent Trap. That's another movie that was pretty good. I like that one.
Parent Trap. Yeah.
Not your cup of tea, huh, Tammy? Understandable. She's one of those hit and misses kind of actresses for some. Robert Downey Jr. wasn't actually a fan favorite for many before he came before Iron Man, right? So I'm really curious to see how she kind of gets out of this, or how she grows from that period of her life to hopefully better things. So I think that's the talk. Do you guys think she'll be one of those actresses or actors that will actually grow out of a phase to become a superstar? Or it's like, maybe we'll bunt, baseball term, and she's just going to kind of, play comfort, if you will, to the role she plays. I'm really I don't know her by character, so I don't know her well enough to say she's ambitious to go for that big role. Curious to your guys' thoughts. Do you think she's going to be big time? Okay, I'm going to end the QA thing because it's so confusing. So I'm going to do a regular question. Start a poll.
Oh, was it not letting me put it in?
I wasn't able to see any of whatever it was that you're putting in there, which doesn't exactly interact like it suggests. So YouTube, fix that. You think Lindsay Lohan?
So, yeah. Time change official.
Is it official? Hey, it's 1 o'clock, everybody. Again.
Gotta get back in
Eastern time. We just lost our daylight savings time. No. I want longer sunsets. No. It's not fair. No. Oh my God. I can't wait till they abolish this stupid law. I mean,
everywhere in all the states, so it all works together.
I'm sorry. How many people actually? We're living in a day and age now where most businesses don't just start at 9 and close at 4 or 5. Most of the world's gone 24/7. So, as much as that sucks, but that's reality.
No, don't you want to feel like you have to go to sleep at 4 when it's senior citizens dinner time, when everything gets dark at 4 o'clock? Yeah, that's what we want.
Sounds positive. I mean, oh, it's somewhere down, might as well go to bed. I thought I just got up. Cause you just did. Who should we nickname our fake elderly man that we just made up?
Oh, you got me there.
I'm trying to think of like some elderly Southern name.
Like I don't know, old Ernie.
Like Ernie. I was just thinking.
Wow.
Like Ernie.
Okay, that wasn't
Ernest.
Planned. How did we come up with the same name there?
Yeah. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Right, Dragonfly Kisses? Agreed. Who needs this time change stuff? Come on. You know what I'm thankful for? Coffee. I'm on like 4th wind or something, and it's actually keeping my fuel going. So, thanks to Gina for making it or heating it up. One of the two. I forgot.
I brewed a new pot. You're welcome.
She brewed some new pot, guys. So thank her.
Pot of coffee.
That's right. Pot of coffee. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
So I see her as like more of going in your Lifetime movie directions, though. Like I don't know if I could see
like Lifetime movie roles.
Yeah, I don't know if she might get stuck in that category, or that's what I the vibe I feel more so.
See, that's what I kind of feel too, because that's really where her strengths mostly come from, is those type of movies. Like if you remember, Freaky Friday was kind of in that. Somewhat, there's a little bit of romance and comedy there. Like every one of her movies kind of sprinkled that, except for Mean Girls, you know. Her Bright Carrie, Coffee, every time.
So, but now does start a lot of Lifetime movie watchers, because they start their whole holiday season. Like before, I think they used to start it for more of like the 25-day countdown for Christmas, and they would start it in December. But I think they started their Christmas movie streak already, like on the 1st or something like that. So, but I don't know. I picture her being more of that lower budget movie studios productions. We'll see. I mean, it's great if it takes off again and she gets the bigger roles, and like this Netflix movie takes off. But
I really wonder how much of a parody it will be to the Mean Girls film. I don't, like I said, I mean, it's out there now. You can watch it on Netflix. It's just I don't know if anybody's seen it yet, but yes, I agree. I think it's going to be more like, it looks like it's one of those, it could be like a Lifetime kind of, you know, drink your wine and eat some cheese and fudge and popcorn, laugh, cry, whatever on the couch. Lemonade for Lisa.
So chai tea for a dragonfly.
Chai tea, lemonade.
I like Thai tea.
Oh, Thai tea is so good.
Chai tea and Thai tea is good.
Well said, wifey. Well said. I love me some Thai tea as well. I got a squeaky chair. After my system's completely upgraded, I'm going to replace this chair. I'm slowly coming around, guys. I'm slowly coming around. All right.
Cotton candy.
Ooh.
The cotton candy fudge.
You mentioned that to her?
We had brought it up that
had a discussion.
We got it. No, yeah, when we first got it at the park, yeah, it was the cotton candy fudge, and there's like a little bit left. almost finished.
Oh
off,
my god!
right?
Like, I normally don't eat cotton candy, but that was some awesome cotton candy fudge. I had to I know she got it for her. That's her thing. So I'm like,
no, you could have it. Yeah.
I had some mint chocolate fudge, which is just as fantastic. And then we had the peanut butter fudge also as our third brick choice of fudge. Oh my God, that was beautiful. Fantastically yummy. Late night snacks.
Yes.
What kind of chips do you guys
Midnight
like?
munchies.
I'm kind of. What is the midnight snack for you guys? What is the midnight snack? Kind of really curious to see what it is you go for the fridge for after midnight during the madness hour that your stomach says, I'm mad, I want food. I can't go to sleep until you feed me. Let's see. Late night snack. Gina, what would yours be?
Well, trying to be good. Like there's the cinnamon twist like churros that they make now, and
good call, Dragon.
For that I can get at Sam's. So, and here I actually even have one here. It's like
churros.
Churro. So it's
kind of see it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it's not like deep fried and stuff. It's lightly baked. I forget who makes it, but I found it at Sam's.
If you
And-
remember, guys, Taco Bell actually used to have these.
Yeah.
They still do, I think.
Yeah, like Taco Bell's like their twister thingies. Yeah.
Yeah. Similar
And-
to like cinnamon.
And because I have to,
Stuff.
stay back off of higher sugar things and snacks, that's like one of those in between where, because it has cinnamon, it's still sweet, and it's not as much dough, flour, and everything, since it's a lighter baked. So it's a lower carb snack that I can go to when I get those types of munchies, since I can't like grab a candy bar
Kit Kat
like he can.
or Reese's
Or all those.
peanut butter cup.
And then your mixed
Or-
nuts, because that's your
Hershey's candy bars.
fat that takes longer to
Look,
process. Carbs.
sometimes you just
Healthy
gotta
fats.
find some joy, especially if it's an almond joy. Look, one kid came to our house for Thanksgiving, Halloween, Thanksgiving,
So
trick or turkey.
yeah, the smart popcorn sometimes that could be a yay and nay, because it still can be lighter, but corn itself is harder for the body
Fructose
to
and
process, the
sugars.
fructose in there. But yes, I love the cheddar popcorn, smart popcorn.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. White cheddar
The-
popcorn.
Yeah, the white cheddar popcorn.
Oh, it's so good.
When it comes in the bags, or
So good.
and then he loves just popping some popcorn and having
Love my
some
popcorn.
buttered popcorn. Yeah, he'll like pop two bags.
Taco Bell nacho fries. Who has not had the nacho fries and the cheese? The nacho fries and cheese that Taco Bell has. It's actually pretty good. I've been told not everybody likes it. I don't know.
The nacho fries.
Trick or turkey. Yeah. Could just put Halloween and Thanksgiving together and made it a holiday. What did you have for Thanksgiving? Oh, I had Kit Kats, Reese's Pieces, and Almond Joy, and we're thankful for candy. And I don't know about the family; just play tricks on us. Bunch of turkeys. Cheeto popcorn, yes, Lisa, and yes.
Cheeto popcorn.
Oh my God, yes. Cheeto, yeah. You remember the Cheetos popcorn,
Yeah.
right? So good. If you want my fingers to turn instant cheese, man, give me a bag of those, and then I'll have to run
Well,
the
yeah,
treadmill
anything Cheetos.
for an
Yep.
hour after that.
That's what they're known for. It's like if you don't
So
get your
good.
fingers all orange with Cheetos, then it's not really Cheetos.
It's their signature.
Yeah,
Right.
that Cheetos. Yep.
So what are y'all thankful for? Like, you thankful for Cheeto popcorn? I'm thankful for the community, man. I'm just glad that we got everybody in a community being built up, hanging out with each other, being supportive, even when things are not 100%. Like, my system has been just on the flake, and it's been hanging in there. Just, when time's time, it's time. So, anyways, I'm just thankful that I'm able to still be able to do this. Be able to hang out with Gina, and then be able to have both of us come online and hang
how's
out
the
with you guys.
sound out there? Because now that the headsets or the mic difference, or is it the
So we're on a completely
something-
new system.
the system
Well, different system,
difference
newer,
or
but I'm just curious to see. We're not
that we're not
flaking out
yeah,
or cutting out or it's not sounding weird.
and it's not the talking that's doing it.
Weird kung fu.
I know I can talk very broken at times.
Chat.
I'll have those pauses, and it's not that.
Yay. Okay,
they're
so
saying it's
Lisa
good.
is good. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Fantastic. We're going. They're stepping right in the right direction. Awesome. Shelly's here. What's up, Shelly? Have a merry trick or turkey. That was great. Let's turn my fan on just a notch. It's a little warm in here. Hopefully that doesn't overpower the mic. What's up, Shelly? How you doing? All right, so here's the next question. So do you start decoring for your Christmas holiday now? Or do you wait until after Thanksgiving? And a second question I'll add to that is, do you start your Christmas shopping now? Or do you wait until after Thanksgiving? I'll start with the first question. I'll put that in the poll. See what happens. Oh, I gotta end the previous poll. Whoops. Wow. Okay, so everybody thinks that Lindsay Lohan's gonna be in like a meh roles. She'll be in Lifetime movie roles. 57% of you said that. And Back to the Couch, Boring Life, 29%. 14% said huge roles to come for Lindsay Lohan. So I am kind of curious to see what happens. I mean, shoot, the Marvel universe is always expanding. They just had Harrison Ford step into
I heard
is
about
it
that.
DC or something? I forget which comic. If it's Marvel or DC. I gotta look that up now. I am a huge fan of Harrison Ford. Let's see. Oh, he's going to be someone called Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. It's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Interesting. So he's going to be joining a form of the Captain America's New World Order with Anthony Mackie. Okay. So it's the fourth Captain America movie that's going to be coming out. I wonder if that's going to be a good guy or a bad guy. I did not read that comic book character, whether or not he's good or bad. Anyway. I just like seeing Harrison Ford just still kicking it at his age. He's almost 80, I think.
Yeah, I think.
And this dude's still
80.
like flying planes and doing whatever. I mean, I haven't seen an actor this active this late in the game, like Harrison Ford, and he's supposed to be doing another Indiana Jones.
Another indie?
Another
Wow.
Indiana Jones. My understanding is it's supposed to be still in production, but
Well, let's see. So he'll probably be older than Sean Connery was when Sean Connery played his
so true.
father. Now Harrison Ford is probably older than that.
So let's see. According to IMDb, it's still scheduled to be released sometime in 2023. It still has no title to, or like subtitle, like, you know, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or Last Crusade, which I thought that was the Last Crusade, but hey, you know, why not go for a Crystal Skull? You catch my pun there?
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, they're gonna...
Yes, man. Yeah, wow.
They're going for it. Okay, I like that. It's gonna be curious to see. Let's see what else is going on. Christmas stuff is right. Okay, so some of you noticed this, and I want to point out, like, Christmas stuff going up in the stores, like way back into July. I mean, I've seen stuff up as early as beginning of August, I'll say. But stores are really starting to push holidays so soon that they're trying to get ahead of the game. Like they'll put like a little small section of Christmas stuff and then make it bigger and bigger as the season gets closer and closer. I'm noticing, I don't know, Sam's Club isn't as bad.
Someone had shared they went to Walmart because they needed a water hose. So they went to, the whole garden section of Walmart and they were like, where's your water hoses at? And the staff employee said, reacted like they were out of their mind. They're like, well, this is all the Christmas stuff. Why would we have water hoses? When really that's the garden section.
And intertwine it somehow into Christmas.
They looked at her as though she was the weird, crazy one. When that's supposed to be the garden section. That's where you would find such things as a water hose for your garden to water your flowers and what have you. But no, they thought she was insane because it was all the Christmas decor already, and I guess they didn't even stock garden stuff during that time. Before they used to just narrow it down, like he was saying, and put a little more of the seasonal things in. Now I guess they eliminate it altogether. Whatever makes the money, I guess.
Hey, it's a sad truth, right? It's two things, right? One, how much demand is for it? How many people want it, right? And then there's the other part where they just want to get ahead of the game before their competitors do. So there's a greed for market, but has to balance out with, do people really want it? That could lead into a negative. Like you put Christmas stuff out there in July because it's Christmas in July. Okay, there's a niche. I really want to say that. I get that. That's fine. But if you're doing it in August, just to get ahead of the game for December, it makes me really think you're pushing that envelope a little too hard to get yourself in the market too quickly. And that will turn me personally away from a store like that. I like Christmas. I like celebrating it. I like decoring. I love it. But there's a point where you just you push it too far. And it makes it sound a little greedy and too commercialized. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Shock, man. See you out there, man. Good to see you, bud. All right. I still forgot to close out the other poll. Dang it. There you go. So I'll ask you guys.
And then I'm glad the grass doesn't have to be cut every other day at this point. But yes, the grass still grows year round down here, and we don't have snow to cover things up, and then got to rake some of the leaves. But yeah, we still need to water our plants down here. My avocado trees.
Avocado tree. We plan on doing that too. I don't know if anybody has ever had an avocado to the point where you take the little seed out and try to plant it into we did that. We did it with 3 of them so far, and they're growing. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. And that made us or at least me start thinking about, okay, we're coming to a point where we're getting a little scarce with the whole, farming industry of things. Getting all your plantation, there's so much demand for food items, but because of all the fires and all the things that have been happening lately with farm fields getting toast, it's like, okay, we're becoming a little more scarce on food items, so that price goes up even more. So you almost want to do your own gardening. So I'm really kind of curious. Do any of you like to do gardening? Like, do you like to plant your own vegetables and your own stuff? I'm curious. What do you guys think?
Oh wow, Dragonfly. We have over 2 acres of leaves.
Oh my lord!
Wow. Yeah, I've tried before, like, raking some leaves, and that part you can get so far with that. It's once if you're loading them in the big yard bags, forget it. Like, I've used the leaf blower and stuff, get a little exercise in that way, but that's about as far as I can get. So I've created the leaf pile, and then maybe it's fun to jump in. Yeah. That's about it.
I used to take I used to take a lawnmower and just mow over them and mulch them into the ground because usually that's the quickest way for them to decompose.
Yeah, and that's good too.
Down here in Florida, we got these weird nuts that fall off the acorns, and then the leaves are so hard that they won't break down too easily with a lawnmower because they're so small and they're so hard. It's like you can't take a regular broom, you can't take a blower to them because they somehow stick to the ground even more so than regular leaves. They actually weigh heavier than regular leaves. We have some weird leaves that fall down here. I don't know what it is. So I literally would have to take a rake or a push broom. Sometimes I'll do that if, one of those big ones, and I'll go in the lawn and start using a push broom because it helps pick them up. Ooh, pine cones. I haven't seen those in a long time. So, Dragonfly Kiss, do you get a lot of pine cones that fall in that area? Kind of curious. He's a shop vac. Oh, is that like when you put the shop vac in reverse mode, where it becomes a blower, or does that actually sucking up all of the leaves into the shop vac and then you just empty it from there? Wow. Okay. So Dragonfly Kisses gets all the pine cones up there. So, what's everybody doing for the holidays anyway? Oh, you know what? Let me ask you guys. I'm asking you a bunch of questions, but y'all want to come into Zoom and chat with us? Who wants to do some live calls with us? We're really just chatting with you at the moment. So, give me a 1 in the chat if you guys want to come in and talk. Vacuums him up just to get silly looks from his neighbors. That's all. That's funny. I mean, I can see why that's productive. Pine cones, nuts, fruit.
I came this close to getting a Dollar Tree the other day. They had smaller little planting pots, or like it was like 8 in a set, almost like a cartridge, like a container type thing. And I think they had something like that, and I almost picked it up to start planting a few different veggies and stuff to experiment with.
Oh my god, that sounds like something my dad would do. Lisa just said, he being in his bathrobe and almost 80, and he's that guy. My dad would so do the same thing. And I know it would just make my mom mad too, and he probably would do it
And
just because it
he
would
just
make her
wouldn't care. Yeah.
My dad's one of those guys that's so easy to get along with.
Yeah.
And he can, if you let him, he'll tell you a story, and
Yeah, he's the type that can just start a conversation with anybody.
maybe even show you a magic trick.
Apple didn't fall far.
Didn't fall far.
I can't even say it. Fall far from the tree.
Did fall from the tree.
Yeah, where'd he get it from?
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. If you see me on a lawnmower one day in a bathrobe, you'll know why. I'll grab me an apple too. I'll eat it. I'll eat the apple while in a bathrobe on a riding a lawnmower. Apple didn't fall far from the tree. I'm throw a joke to my neighbor or something about that. I didn't get any responses if anybody wanted to come into Zoom, or is it just kind of late? We're just chilling out. But hit 1 if you want to do a Zoom call in.
Oh, well, I
Otherwise,
put it
we're
in
just
there
gonna
just in
chill out.
case. Oops.
What's that?
I actually just put it in there because I thought,
What, a link?
yeah, I think that was, yep. So,
I don't see the link in there. I don't know how that's happening.
well, there comes the ones.
Shelly, I don't know whether to say I'm sorry or you're welcome. Gina will be like, what are you doing, Zaiden?
Who's to say I won't go
She
loony and
probably would
crazy
go
and join you?
Ride this thing like a ball. Let's go. It just looks so bad, but so funny. Oh my god. All right, let me. For some reason, that link is not popping into the chat.
Is it not?
But no, the Zoom link. I'll go ahead and do it.
I'll try to put it in there again.
No,
I see it on my end, but can you?
it might be blocking it. I don't know why. Anyways, I'm about to put the link out for you guys. If you want to come on in, I'll have to fix whatever Gina's dealing with over there a little bit.
I don't know if I can. I gotta make sure I can hear too, because I'm just hearing you right now.
I'm also pinning it in the top of the chat. And we have somebody.
I see Lisa.
How do we get her in here? That's the question. I hear you, Lisa.
See, I'm not hearing it still, so mine's not syncing with sound.
Oh, your Wi-Fi things are not
Yeah,
working.
my sound is not. Give us a moment.
We are getting there.
How do I test it?
Here's what's odd is I know Lisa is in here with us,
Yeah, I see her,
but
but I'm not hearing anything right now.
let's just try to pin her and see if it'll come in. Oh, wow. There she is. What's up, Lisa? Can you hear us okay? Wait, am I muted? Hold on. Yep, wrong microphone. How about now, Lisa? Can you hear us?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you now.
Yay.
Okay.
Can I have my
I'm not hearing though.
Well, it's working, so that's good news. All right, let me go ahead and get her Gina's headphone thing taken care of. So I'll let you two. Well, here, I'll give you my headphones for a second. I'll let you two talk for just a moment. I'm gonna find her some working headphones.
I might have. Oh,
Nope, she found another pair. All right.
they're in here. Yeah.
Awesome. How are you doing, Lisa? That's awesome. Family coming over, children. It's all great. Mostly great.
Okay.
It's very quiet, everybody.
Yeah, chat.
Let me see if I can't fix that.
I can hear you now. Now that I got the other headset on. Okay, yay. So So how much property has to be mowed and leaves blown?
78 and my mom is 75 and
There you
they
go. You
still
guys should
go
start
out there
hearing.
Wow.
and they do it. Yeah.
In their
you
late
know.
70s and still at it. Wow.
Yeah, but they're kind of like they're still really young at heart, you know what I mean? So like even though they're like almost 80 years old, they don't act like they're almost 80 and they don't look like they're almost 80, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
hopefully that's a good thing for me when I get to be their age. So
Definitely.
Everybody can hear Lisa now. I just put on a setting there that should allow you guys to hear Lisa. All right. Yep.
Yeah, good
Shelly
now.
says good
Okay.
Fantastic. All right.
Usually I'm really loud, so I
like I can
I
kind
know
of
for once they
I'm like,
said,
wait a minute, I don't
speak
have
up.
anything.
Turn her up.
right?
I don't have anything
Well,
that would
I've been
allow
messing
volume to
with
come
my
through.
thing too because like
How do you hear?
my mic is usually picks up really well, so I've been kind of working with that so that I don't blow people out. Because I'll re-listen to a stream, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so loud. That's embarrassing. So.
Well, we're glad we can hear you now. So everybody's like, why can't we hear? It's very quiet.
Oh my
pump
goodness.
up the volume. Pump up the volume. Pump
Turn
up
her
the volume.
down. Turn her down. No, I'm just teasing.
Turn down the volume. Turn down. Hit the mute. No, I'm kidding. Man. So have you started any of your, I guess we'll call it Christmas shopping?
No.
Gifts
No,
or
I
whatever?
have not.
She's not
I'm
quite a fan.
I'm not a shopper. Well, yeah, I mean, I worked retail in high school, and that like really ruined me as far as
retail
like
sucks.
Christmas shopping times. So yeah, if I can't find it on Amazon, then I shop on Christmas Eve, and
The day before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to
I'm
whatever's
bad.
available.
But you know what the crazy thing is I always find what I'm looking for. So that's, I'm not looking for like, you know, the next best Christmas gift this year is, it's like,
Yeah.
That's just a ploy to market the item because, I don't know, 3 to 6 months later when you need it, you'll find it. It'll be there again, so.
So what do you think? A lot of stores overmarket their products too soon when it comes to things like Christmas, or
Well, I
what
mean,
do you
like,
think?
look at what they do with children's toys and stuff like
Right.
that, Like, I mean, back when
Video
I was a little
games
kid,
and-
it was Cabbage Patch Kids, yeah, or the next,
Yeah.
like, gaming system would come out, or, like, then there was the
Nintendo.
Furby craze, and then
Oh,
there was the Tickle Me
Furby.
Elmo craze and stuff like
Who
that.
all remembers
and-
that? That was the
Beanie
craziest
Babies.
Christmas season I think I've ever remembered. Was when that stupid Tickle Me Elmo
Tickle Me
Yeah.
Elmo,
what
yeah.
came out. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh my God,
we
that
all
was
wanted
nuts.
one. It was so crazy. They were crazy.
Well,
That's the first time I
like-
went to a store with my parents saying, "Okay, people are punching each other. We need to go over the stupid toy."
Yeah, and I was in high school at the time and I worked at a J.C. Penney's, and it was like we had X amount of them. I don't remember how many we had, but people were literally like, we couldn't even keep them on the floor. We had to keep them in the back room. They had to ask for them, and we would only sell them one at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's another increasing issue going on right now. And it kind of goes with the whole same theory with ticket scalping. Now we've got people out there buying products in abundance of quantity just to resell them at higher prices when they're no longer available at stores,
Yeah.
Amazon, etc. So now we're starting to see a lot of online saying limited purchase to one at a time or two at max. So I'm kind of curious. Is anybody seeing like a lot more of that where prices are starting to go up because it's a resale vendor or someone just kind of scalping? What do you guys think? You see a lot more of that?
They do that with everything, I think. Like, I mean, look what they did with toilet paper during COVID.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
and
Right.
and paper towels and even like baby wipes and diapers and baby formula and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, they do it with like everything. I mean, thank God I don't have babies and need formula, baby wipes, and diapers.
God
and,
forbid you need that.
Right. I mean, oh my gosh, because I'd be like going like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go to the cloth method again and use.
Who remembers that still? I'm just curious. 'Cause there's some people that never heard of that. Like cloth?
Well,
What?
Well, they were bringing that back. Some people were
They
finally
tried to for a
doing
long
that.
time to bring that back, and like with the diaper services and stuff like that, and yeah, but yeah, they do that with everything, and it's like so silly. So like even with, I'll bring up the horses, but even with like hay and feed for the horses, okay? So like here in Oregon, we're pretty self-sustainable for feed for all livestock, but 2 years ago we had a fire, and then
Lots of hand sanitizer. Yeah.
we lost a lot of like hay for the livestock and stuff like that, but they didn't raise the prices. So but this year we had an abundance of rain, an abundance of hay, but yet the gas prices go up, and then they like hike everything up to like almost double, and it's like, that's so stupid.
Wow.
You have
Even when you do have the
more
stuff.
than enough
Yeah.
supply to meet the demand, but yet when you didn't have enough supply to meet the demand and people had to outsource, you didn't raise the prices. But now it's like, oh, well, because we ran out last year and now there's so much, we have to raise the prices. It's
I
like,
call
yeah,
baloney on that. That's price
I was
gouging.
going to say
Yeah.
that is
That's
a
so price
wheelbarrow
gouging.
full of stuff that I've done
Yes.
before.
Totally
I
agree.
mean,
And these companies
It's-
are getting so greedy now. It really, they are.
Yeah.
You're seeing reports of a lot of profit margins that are so astronomical, like they're hitting records in the Fortune 500s of the most gained profit ever on record. That's telling me a little something on price gouging. I'm sorry, but that's just truth. And oil companies are getting record number of profits, which tells us, oh, price gouging in gas. I'm not being political here. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, we had all that gas.
That's kind of obvious.
We had all that gas sitting in reserves, and then they decided to sell half of it, and it's like, well, we need that gas, ding dongs. You know what I mean? Like
that's right.
You know, and so
that's
so they sell it, and then then they're like, oh, you know, so well, I guess we're gonna have to raise the prices because you got to get to work.
Wait a second, we're going electric. We don't need gas. We're going.
GM's going that way. All
we're forcing you to.
Because you don't
Especially
need
certain
fossil
states.
fuels to make electricity in some places, right? I mean, oh my gosh. You know, like
the entire country of India.
yeah, you know, I mean,
like
but whatever.
There's states, whatever. There's been a few of them left, yeah. Can you imagine if everybody just closed doors to your fossil fuels, and then all of a sudden, there's nothing to go. I mean, how do you transition from that? It's there's gotta be a transition
it'll cause
period.
another stop like it did with the pandemic. Unfortunately, it'll be a different type of pandemic. It'll be like a fuel pandemic. It'll be like Mad Max.
Right.
That'll be so fun. I'm ready for Tina Turner to show up with her staff and sing "We Don't Need Another Hero." You know,
it's crazy at times. These
Tina
movies
Turner
are
comes
not
at your
far
doorstep,
off.
you're in trouble. We're gonna have you come to the Thunderdome. Let's prove your wealth and worth.
That's right. And then you'll get a gallon of gas, and good luck. No.
If you live.
If you live, right. Oh my
if you keep your arm. So food going up, building supplies. Yeah, building supplies is another one. The housing market, you know, like so many people building are going into contracts with just having just no answer to increasing cost of construction of the home during the construction because of lack of resources.
There's all these additional clauses in the contracts now because so many people, vendors, are changing their costs. So that builder or constructor, they can't guarantee if they're gonna actually profit off of building that. So they have to put those clauses in with the customer that's, you know, wanting to build this house. And it's crazy. It's not like, okay, like before, like even if you were putting a bid on a house or something, okay, you got like a $10,000 leeway. No, we're talking like a $50,000, $100,000 leeway that it can exceed, and you're still bound into building that house or, you know, agreeing with the supplies.
And there's like, you know, there's whole communities like, you know, by like where my folks live. And when I grew up there, and I lived there from when I was probably 8 years old until I was like 30. And but when I was young, it was like a farming community. There was a lot of you know, I mean, I lived in the agricultural hub of California in the Central Valley, you know, so everything grew there. And then they decided, I think my senior year in high school, that they were going to build a university, and it took like 15 years for them to build this place. And so they built, it took a long time because there was a whole lot of like agricultural stuff and everything. Like there's a lake there, and they were building it by the lake, and so there's like this canal that feeds into the lake, and they were like, oh, you can't build the university there because there's like these fairy shrimp, which are basically brine shrimp that live for like a very short amount of time, and they go into the lake and it feeds the fish, right? And so they're like, oh my gosh, you're gonna disturb the fairy shrimp, and it's like they're sea monkeys. Procreate like all the time, you know. They're sea monkeys. Just get like the little bag of sea monkeys and sprinkle them in there. They'll flourish, you know. And so that was a big deal. And so there was like a local, like, I guess it was like a bid kind of thing for for the community to vote on the name of the university and like for the mascot, and like a lot of people voted for him to be like the fairy shrimp, which was kind of funny. But you know, we have a lot of bobcat in the community as well, but so they're the bobcats, yeah. But
Cool.
but so they like farmers started selling their land and they started building all these homes, like so many homes, like it was crazy how many homes they built. And when the college opened, they were only like operating at like 10%, and so like there was only 20 students. So
Huh?
they built all these homes to be
Wow.
like campus houses. They built all these homes because they thought all these professors and different faculty would be coming in, and nobody moved to
Professors.
the town. Professors, yeah, but and nobody moved to the town, and so they had all these like brand new beautiful homes just sitting there, and there was nobody to live there.
Oh,
And
that's
so like
Wow.
that, you know,
terrible.
so like it's weird because there's so many communities where there are housing shortages, but then there's communities like that where there's a housing surplus. Now the bad part about it is because now it's a university town, and I say that with air quotes as I'm saying that, they want to charge like astronomical prices when there's all these houses and nobody to live in them. I don't know.
So talk about,
It,
you know, having a
it's just weird.
surplus of houses. But it's so weird though. Like, why would you have that and not be able to accommodate?
Well, you know, I mean, I think it finally started to happen, but it took many years after that as well. So like so they opened the college, I think, or the university, like when I was maybe 28 years old, almost, you know, and um, and so that was 20 years ago, and so now it's finally going, but it took that long for it
Did they
to.
get to use the same houses as before, or the housing,
I
or
don't, you know, I don't even know.
Oh,
I
no?
don't, I honestly don't know because I think they turned a lot of it into like low income stuff, and, you know, so that they could kind of, for people who struggle in the community, made it like easier, you know, for single families and things like that. But, you know, you go out there and then they're still expanding, and it's like, stop, stop, stop it, stop, stop, stop.
stop it.
You know, and it's still, you know, it is a university town now, but it's still an old farming community. It's still literally a hick town, you know. I mean, I don't know, it's strange, it's bizarre, but it blows my mind. Like when I came back from the islands and I actually drove around and checked everything out, I just couldn't believe what I saw. I
Oh,
really
wow.
couldn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, gosh, you know, I mean, I remember riding dirt bikes out in these areas, and now it's a neighborhood, you know. It's like, holy cow, you know. Used to get in a lot of trouble out there. It was great.
Back in the day of dirt bikes and 5 acres of land and
Right.
nothing else to do. But
Exactly. We got into all kinds of nonsense. So,
I have family that owned a horse farm up in Michigan. Learned how to ride some horses up there briefly, but it was fun. But that's all. And of course, we shot a whole bunch of fireworks off on the 4th up there, and like it was nobody's business. Technically, that was illegal. So we got in trouble a little bit back in the day up there doing some crazy stuff. We ended up going into a lake that was apparently private property. My cousin took his boat out there anyway with us, and we just went out doing tubing. And man, he's such a jerk when it comes to tubing, because he knows how to turn his boat just right to where it'll whip you sideways,
whip you around, yeah.
and you can tumble a
That's
little
so
bit.
fun when you're young and you bounce, you know. Like
Yeah,
nowadays, if that happened, I
Temp?
would be like,
yeah, right. So they even tried to get me down going water skis, and I'm like, No, I don't want to break my legs.
You've never water skied or?
Not water. No, I snowboarded, but so I could probably get away with that version of skiing. Wakeboarding.
Yeah.
But I've never done skiing because, well,
it's so fun.
for one, in my pro wrestling days, there's a lot of work that takes place where your legs get a lot of over time some damage. So
Right.
my ankles were not in the best of shape when it comes to skiing, but snowboarding was my thing. Love me some snowboarding. But yeah, I would do that. Wake in the water, sure. We did that with tubes. For sure.
Yeah.
There's a point they had me like a kite. I'm like, how did
wow.
you do that? And like he'll flip you to a point where you're down inside the wave wake, and then you come back up, and then you're flung in the air, and then he will
Right, it
tug
like
you.
flicks you up. Yeah. Yeah. And then if you're silly enough to well, I mean, certain ones that you're on, if you're silly enough to hang onto the tow rope, then good luck. You know what I mean? You're like, ah! Whoops. Shouldn't have done that. No.
I've seen some people on, I think I've seen a couple YouTube videos where someone had it in their teeth. I'm like, what?
Ooh.
Why would you do that?
Did they have their teeth left when they were done?
Apparently,
Wow.
I think some of them have it weirdly strapped around their neck or something where it looks like maybe they're doing it by the teeth. But
yeah, but that's so dangerous, like by your neck. Oh my gosh, that's.
I seen them like at your SeaWorld shows. Some people do some crazy stunts,
Right.
but man,
Yeah.
you see it like on YouTube and somebody else is doing it. Like, I know how to do it, ha ha ha, and then
No.
might be a few teeth short later on when you smile into that video, but
Right.
I
It's
would
like
love
the
to
guy with
experience
corn
the
drill
water
who knocked
skiing.
his teeth out.
right.
Water
Oh,
skiing?
man.
I said I would love to experience water skiing or snow skiing, but neither of those have I.
Oh, we like hanging
Done.
out with you too, Shelly.
So, but it just, I think it would be exciting, but
It's
doable?
really
What?
fun.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really fun. But, it's funny because, so like, Zaiden's like, okay, I love to snowboard, but I don't think I could water ski, but I could wakeboard. So is that because you have like better balance when you're standing, either like regular foot or goofy foot, however you stand?
Well,
Or like, so like
Two
growing
things.
up, were you a skateboarder or were you a roller skater?
see, that's an interesting point. I did both, and over time, I became more of just a BMXer. Because I always had kind of troubles with my ankles. I actually was born with an ankle issue where my feet were born inward, and
Okay.
I had to wear braces to make them straight for almost 2 years or something like that. I don't remember. I was barely one. So, I mean, whatever. But back then, the technology of the day was a big old iron bar with nuts and bolts that say, okay, we're going to gradually get your feet to go like this. And the bar is like, straight across. And
Like Forrest Gump.
kind of like a Forrest Gump thing. Yeah, a little bit like that. But I always had problems with my ankles. The problem is it's the strength of and support of each other's ankles. So the snowboard or skateboard, if you want to call it that, I wasn't always the greatest at skateboarding though. But I was great at snowboarding. So the thing is, my weight, how I can shift with my weight and have the support with both ankles on the snowboard because it's locked in for one. Your feet are locked into the board, and for me, it was a lot easier to maneuver. And my ankles didn't hurt so bad. So when it comes to wakeboarding, a little tougher because you're not secured onto a board. You actually you have your feet gripping the board, and you kind of have to shift your weight.
With wakeboarding?
Or I'm sorry, you can actually do like a snowboarding kind of thing. Is it called wakeboarding? I don't know.
It is called wakeboarding, and they have like so it's like water skis where there's like it's like a neoprene sock you put your feet in, so you're in the board. You're not just standing on it for wakeboarding. But there are, and I've seen it when I lived in Hawaii. There are surfers who just take a surfboard and stand on the surfboard and get towed behind a boat.
I always thought
Yeah.
wakeboarding is
That
where
way.
you were on your stomach or something, and you.
No, that's
I don't know why I'm thinking that. No. It
That-
looks okay. Wakeboarding
bodyboarding
is
or like
surfing.
knee boarding. Yeah. So there's like bodyboarding or knee boarding. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
those are fun too.
Yep, I did that. Yeah, it was okay to. The problem there was if you don't shift your weight on the back just enough, you're gonna be face planting every time you fall off the board. And
Yeah,
man,
you're gonna dig into the water. Yeah,
So dead.
yeah, you're gonna bury yourself. Yeah, for sure.
At one point, I was so swollen in my eye socket because I let in so much water that I had to get that drained, and that was pretty bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was my left eye actually. But yeah. It's all the art of shifting your weight in that when it comes to just judging the waves just right, the wake waves and whatnot. That's why I call it wakeboarding. That makes sense. Surfboarding, wakeboarding.
Yeah.
Do the math. All right. So, what other fun things does everybody like to do during the holidays? Like, what was some things that come to mind? Is it just hanging out with family? Is there travel goals in mind, or like, is there a lot of travel that happens? What do you guys like to do, or typical traditional things? Kind of curious.
I'm going to be traveling to my family for Thanksgiving this year, and so that'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to making cookies.
Ooh.
Usually for Thanksgiving, we start doing like cookies. So my mom actually called me the other night and was like, "Do you want to make cookies when you're here?" I'm like, yes. So this will be the first time I get to make cookies for the holidays with my niece, so I'm super excited. So yeah,
That sounds good.
that'll be a fun thing. And that, just, growing up, we always got together, like, I had aunts on both sides of my family that would come down, and we would always host Thanksgiving, and it was always like a tradition where, the aunts, my mom, my grandma would come over, and all us kids, we'd all make cookies together, and we'd sit down, and God, we'd make like, I don't even know how many cookies. It felt like thousands when we were little, it was great.
You do the trade cookies?
We would actually make my mom's great-grandmother's Christmas cookie recipe, and then my grandmother's torchetti and Italian Christmas cookies. And
Ooh,
we
nice.
never, because we all made them together, we never really did the trade, but we would do it with friends and stuff like that after. Yeah.
Yeah. Like growing up, we'd make them. My mom, my aunt, and stuff. My cousins. Yeah, we would make the sugar cookies and decorate those, and then, all the different. You had to have the Ohio ones, the Buckeyes.
Oh, the Buckeye.
The
Look,
Buckeyes, which
man,
are
those are good.
like Reese's peanut butter cups,
so good.
But then I know, like, I haven't gone to the churches, but they'll have the cookie exchange. You make so many, several dozen, and then trade them off depending on what other people make in their cookies, which gives you a nice assortment. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I had a relative who she would always make fudge, like, and she made the best fudge. Like, she would do like 3 different types of fudge. She'd do regular chocolate fudge, she would do peanut butter fudge, and she would do Rocky Road fudge. And so she would make enough And so everybody in the family would get like 3 containers of fudge every year for Christmas. They never lasted long. Um, but oh gosh, like I keep asking my aunt for her recipe. I'm like, can you please give me BB's fudge recipes? Like, please. She's like, I'll make it for you. I'm like, no, 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 no. I want to make it too.
Right. I want to learn it.
Yeah, yeah.
My
But,
grandma,
you
my
know,
dad's side, or I should say my dad's mom, used to make the best fudge as well. Like she would give the recipe to me, and I find out it's so simple that I forgot it like twice. Like it can't be that simple. I have to ask again. No, it's just really like 3 different things you got to do, and then 3 or 4 things, and that's it. I'm like, what? As far as ingredients and the step by steps, I'm like, it cannot be that simple. It's that good. She's like, nope,
Yeah.
just a lot of sugar and a lot of love.
yeah. That's the trick, is got to put the love in it for sure.
That is true. So true. Oh my God. Holiday cookies. Yes, that was a weak spot, is a weak spot. What kind of cookies were you guys going to bake? I think Gina mentioned a brief moment of a hint of that, but
What are we? We're gonna make Italian Christmas cookies,
Italian Christmas
Um,
cookies, that's right.
torchetti, which is kind of like a sweet bread cookie, which is also like an Italian cookie. We'll probably do kolaczkis.
Kolaczkis.
Yeah, which is like a cream cheese cookie with jelly in it.
Oh, that's Polish,
And
isn't it? That's a
yeah,
Polish food.
yeah,
That sounds
and
Polish.
yeah, yeah,
Those
it's
are
so
good
good
too.
though. They're amazing.
Yes.
And then we're gonna do German anise cookies, and those are really good. Those are actually my favorite. But that's you know rolling out the dough and cutting the cookies out and decorating all
Actually
the
making it from
cookies.
scratch.
Actually, yeah, and
The
you know
best
we
kind.
don't we don't go like over fancy with the icing decorating and stuff. We keep it real simple because the recipe that we have for that like makes like almost 1,000 cookies. Like I swear,
Wow.
it makes so many cookies, and so we just like ice them real quick and just sprinkle sugar on them because there's no way we're gonna sit there and like fancy out X amount of cookies. We'd be there for months, and eating them as we go. So,
Right,
oh,
right.
that one's so pretty. It looks so
Yeah.
delicious. I'm gonna eat that one. So,
Oh my God. What's interesting is you can cook your own cookies or bake them and then not have to buy them at a store for an ungodly amount of money. You actually make your own stuff. It's so much cheaper to do. And it's so much better. It tastes great. No preservative stuff unless you're actually buying stuff that has preservatives in it. That's a whole nother ballgame. But that's another thing too, is a lot of foods with this preservative crud in it.
I
That's
like the way
everywhere.
you worded that.
What's that?
I said I like the way you worded that. Preservative
crud.
crud.
crud. That's exactly what it is crud.
That stuff goes into your system, and my understanding is there's some chemicals that are in that kind of stick with you. They call them forever chemicals, depending on what they put in the food.
Right. Yeah. There's some of those that go in and don't ever come out. So yeah, they never get flushed through the system.
There was something else I saw that even the consumption of plastic that
Oh, we
each
just
person
seen
is still
yesterday.
consuming
Oh yeah.
plastic.
Well, like tea bags. Tea bags are not cloth; they're like a plastic. So like when you like the old school or paper, they're not really paper; they're a form of plastic. So when
Yeah.
you're using a tea bag, you're consuming microplastics.
This
It's
I
crazy.
see this kind of like going from one extreme to the next, because it was originally a movement of trying to save trees, aka the paper that comes from trees. So now, okay, let's move on to another extreme and let's make a bunch of plastic that really can mess up an ecosystem.
Hmm.
By far worse. yes, it's good to have trees in this planet because that does help eliminate carbon dioxide or not dioxide, whatever. But when you get plastic, and we just seen this, like there's 5 huge spools of plastic garbage areas in the oceans, and I guess the biggest dump pile they dump it into is just northeast of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't
the junk
believe.
island thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
sad.
Apparently, it
it's
could be as big as the
huge.
continent.
It's huge, yeah. Like I don't know exactly how big it is, but yeah, there. It's just gross because I mean,
Can you imagine being on a cruise and all of a sudden, okay, and to your left we have,
the floating pile of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then to your right, this is kind of how the Titanic sunk.
Mhm.
Bergs
Right.
of plastic, not icebergs. But
Yeah.
like, come
Yeah.
on, wow.
Yeah.
Well, if only they could time it and have one of the volcanoes explode and fall exactly over
Yeah, but
that
then it
pit
would
of
melt
trash,
it, and then
it would
go into
create
the
all these
reef.
fumes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it would just be horrible toxic waste
Yeah.
in the ocean.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, there's actually a really
would die.
cool, there's a really cool company out there called For Ocean, and it was started by a group of surfers, and they go out and they have boats where they collect trash in the ocean, and they also do cleanup along all the beaches all over the world. And they take like the glass and the plastics and stuff like that, and they make them into little bracelets. And so
Oh,
they
wow.
recycle the
Wow.
plastic that way. And they've I don't know like how much they've cleaned up, but they've cleaned up a lot of waste. But the bad thing is every day there's more waste. So I mean,
That's
it's
fascinating because
a
we
cool
just
thing.
seen that the return on investment, if you want to call it that, is only 19%. Like they only take out of the waste 19% of that waste to be able to recycle it, and then of course, as you said, more of that plastic gets produced. Not all of it's from recycled, right? So then you're adding to the issue.
Yeah.
It's really that is really not just an ecosystem nightmare, but it's really going to come to a point where, okay, now we got another issue for humanity to worry about when it comes to global warming and it's all the other chemical issues that we have to deal with. So yeah, good point.
Yeah. Sorry.
Nope, it's all good.
My wheels are spinning. I'm sorry.
All our wheels are spinning tonight, that's for sure. It's only 2 o'clock, or some people it's 3. Well, for us it's 2 now, and for you guys over in the Pacific, it's what 11.
It still says 12 o'clock on my clock, so it hasn't.
Oh, it hasn't turned back yet.
Yeah. So,
Only
I think
2
when it gets
hours behind.
Yeah, look we're getting
The
closer
only
by
time.
the minute. We're getting close. No.
Here.
and then in like 45 minutes, I'll be like, oh, I just got further away again. Gosh darn it.
Like it's not, like March or whatever. Oh, we're 4 hours away. That one because it pushed the hour ahead. Darn. I guess that my understanding is it's going to Congress, and there's a lot of people that's going to be passing it for at least the country here. But it's going to be interesting to see what other countries will do with the time zone, if they are in daylight or whatever savings.
They're saying here in Oregon that like this might be the when the spring one hits the spring forward. That's going to be like the last time change in Oregon, which would be
Good
cool.
riddance, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep saying.
I hate going to see. That's so depressing when you're
I will
actually
believe it
getting
when I
home
see
from
it.
work. Right, when you get home from work at 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's already nightfall. Like you want to like chill out, hang out with your kids or whatever, family, and then you can't really do anything because it's dark out, and that's 5 months at least out of the year. So it's like, what do you do?
In ways, I think it counts against us now. It was done for farming and stuff, but now like you said, you got a lot of people that either work 24/7 or when they get off of work they go run the errands and stuff, and you have a lot of people that, because of the street lights and everything, their vision is affected later at night. So driving on the road makes it more difficult. With the time change, you have less time to work with, and so it gets more dangerous. So if that should be a reason in itself to outlaw the time change. Yeah, put a little rain in there. That's something that's interesting down here too.
Ice.
Yeah, we have people that move here from everywhere, and they've experienced driving in the sleet, snow, horrible weather conditions, and having to drive on the black ice and stuff. And then they come down here and it starts to sprinkle and they forget how to drive.
That's so true.
I don't get it.
Goodness.
How did you drive in more severe other weather conditions, blizzards, and know how to turn off when there's a tornado coming or whatever, because they come from everywhere. But you come down here, start sprinkling, and everybody drives slower than a school zone.
It really is. It's like everything comes to a stop. It's really kind of annoying, to be honest with you. Like,
I don't get it.
It's true. Or then you get the people who think that they're like, I don't know, invincible, and they drive like, like it's a nice dry day. It's like,
that too, but not too many of those. Yeah, the
snowbirds, right? Dragonfly kisses.
Yep.
Snowbirds, man. And there's some people that are called halfbacks. If anybody understands this term, it's like your Tennesseans, where people come from, let's say, Ohio down to Florida to move or to stay, one of the two, for, let's say, the summer, or not summer, the winter, and it was just, that's all right. I'll go back up to Tennessee because I still want to experience some sort of that, climate of fall-like temperatures or whatever the case is. But yeah, snowbirds, man, we're getting a ton of them from New York. I'm not trying to put down New Yorkers, but man, we're getting all the rude ones. We are getting all of them. We're getting all of them. I went into just to go visit my parents up in the villages not too terribly long ago, and some of these gates you have to go through, you have to press a button for the gate to lift. Not even 2 seconds. I pull up to this thing. I'm like, I'm about to take some moment from my window. I had a truck at the time that my window takes forever to go down. It was an older truck, and this guy behind me, old Vietnam vet looking dude from New York in his New York accent. What, are you dumb? Don't you know how to press a button? Like in his New York accent.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, I just got my window down, bro. Calm yourself down, man. So I pressed the button, and he just cursed up a storm, and then goes back into his car. Just wouldn't shut up, man. I rolled up my window. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna deal with that guy. But
yeah, it's like cool your jets, turbo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, come on.
But what's so weird is now I went. You go over there, go to a restaurant near there, or anybody that came from New York in that kind of way. There's such a change in dynamic when it comes to mannerisms and just the forceful nature. I guess I don't know if it's because New York's just really populated, at least where these people are coming from, that you have to almost be competitive to get you what you need. I don't know. I just don't get the logic as to why you have to fend and fight people so much. I don't get it.
Probably because there's too many people. No, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
there's a lot of people in New York.
You can ask Gina when she went up to with her brother at the time of, I don't know how many years ago this was, but their the places of living, it was barely efficiency apartment, and they charge $2,000 at least a month just to live in this bedroom / bathroom / kitchen / I think this was like what, a 1-bedroom deal, or I don't know. I'll have to tell
that was an Airbnb, and
in
that
Manhattan.
was that was a 1-bedroom. It was in Manhattan because it was like a few blocks walking distance from the hospital, and it was 1 block over from Ronald McDonald's housing. But I guess we didn't qualify for that assistance with my brother, who's full adult and everything. But yeah, I forget it was probably a couple grand for a week or something like that.
Oh wow.
But that was the only place to stay for my brother to get the treatment. So there was both my parents, him, myself in there for like 4 days or something like that, so he could get his surgery done in New York, because I didn't even stay the whole time. I was there for the procedure, but yeah, it was a small little place, and I don't know how people do that, live that way in New York, and
I couldn't do that.
It's tight.
And some people love that.
Yeah.
Some people like to just thrive on
and some people
that lifestyle,
and I don't know how you do it, because especially when it gets cold, but a lot of people, they are rarely in their homes, in their apartments. They're such social butterflies and constantly either at work or some social event and after parties and all this stuff that they're not in their living space. They live their lives everywhere else. I think that's what a lot of New Yorkers do too. It's just constantly on the go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's probably why living
The
like in
hustle
a
and
place
bustle.
like that is like okay for them, because they're out so much, because like
I can understand that,
or
especially
like-
if you're not, you're not residing so much like or you're not doing like work at home stuff, right? Like it is during
Right.
COVID. Can you imagine? I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of these people moved down here during COVID, is because of the fact that they're realizing that their living conditions are so small that they're starting to get claustrophobic. I
Another
don't know.
reason
That might be a
was
reason.
I think the person that owned the property that was leasing an Airbnb or whatever, they were in the performance industry. So like they were touring with some dance company or something. So they're not there a good portion of the year either, because they're touring.
Right.
So then that's why they were able to lease out their place and still, venture off with their careers that are traveling.
Yeah, like those home swap type things or whatever they do too. Like,
Yeah.
like Airbnb or like, it's kind of like that on the islands too. There's a lot of like condos or really like cool studios and stuff like that to live in.
Like
And they're
Hawaii
small.
or
Hawaii, yeah. Like,
Hawaii.
Hawaii. I think the biggest
I got a
square
funny story to
footage
tell you
I
about
had
that.
living
After
there
you're
by
done.
myself, I think was 1,000 square feet. And I mean, I paid hefty prices for them. I think when I first moved there, rent for like a studio, very small studio, was like $900 a month. And then by the time I left, I was in a smaller studio and I was paying like $1,500 a month. So yeah. But I liked it because it was just me. And I always found cool places where they were on property and stuff like that. So I always had nice big yards and things like that, and fruit trees and
At least there were still
beautiful
yards.
flowers. Yeah, and yeah, but yeah, I couldn't do it in like a high-rise building where you're like right on top
I
and your
couldn't do
neighbors
that
are
either.
like right next to you, like that would be claustrophobic,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's what
So,
China has to deal with. If you can, I
right,
mean,
Yeah.
just
right.
nuts.
Well, they even have those hotels where you like go
New
and
York's
sleep
just
in
the
like
same.
a time capsule over there. Like, well, that's I guess
Yeah.
Japan.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
I
Well,
guess that's
they got all
yeah.
technological and stuff
Yeah,
with
it's like here's
right
your tube, you
soundproofing.
know. It's like, oh, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
You can live, breathe, and eat in it if you want to even use the restroom. It's available.
I was like, what the heck?
It's your
So,
all-in-one living condition in a bubble.
yeah.
I would not do well in that kind of environment. I would tell you that.
Hey, your Fifth Element, when they had to hide in
Oh,
the
those
bed
little
that
Right.
slipped
flyaway
in.
beds.
It's like
Good night. Push a
yeah.
button.
Yeah.
You're out.
That apartment's so cool though. It's like
Yeah.
the bed is made. Auto
Yeah.
wash, you know, like yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You put the refrigerator down and there's your shower and you put it back up and there's your fridge again, you know. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. You lived in Hawaii, so
Yes.
when I used to work for a company that shall not be named in the communications industry, Charter Communications. Anyways, I'm not bound by them. I don't care. Anyway, moving on. I had to train in when they acquired Hawaii as part of their
Their
ability
region
right,
service.
one of their new regions to put their service to. But we had to train on how to talk specifically to residents in Hawaii.
Oh,
Because
you had a crash course in pigeon?
right. It was really something different because there's a lot of pride on pronunciation in Hawaii I didn't realize about. I'm just curious on your point of view. How is the I would have to say linguistics or your what different versions of Spanish
Oh,
called?
you want me to talk Hawaiian like that, huh?
Right. So
Ah.
I'm just saying, there's this island talk that happens that's so legit that we have to be careful not to offend somebody. So
Right.
it's that prideful. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't realize that there was a thing like that in Hawaii. So I'm curious to see if you knew
Yeah.
anything about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they really want you to try to enunciate their words. And so, the thing like that's different with Hawaiian language versus regular English is the enunciations are on the consonants instead of the vowels. And so, like we say Hawaii, it's Hawaii. You know,
Little V in there.
yeah, well, the W is a V sound. And so, like, Eva Street was spelled EWA, Eva. So, like, let's see,
Huh.
that there's like, you know, and it's not Kauai, it's Kauai. It's, you know, there's like a lot of different things that, you know, we try to say it like how we see it and how we're, you know, how you speak with like regular English, but you
Yeah.
know, it's their second language. And so like, you know, and there are a lot of long words, you know, like, I mean, the state fish, you know, it's huma huma nuka nuka pua a a.
What?
No, wow.
So, yeah, you know, I mean, there's a town where you look at the sign, it says Hanamalu, and the town is actually Hanamaulu. So, you know, Hanamaulu, and so
Hanamaulu.
like, and so like, in the town I live, in what. to Hawaii by, I think, Paul Newman or something, because he wants to be with, I think it's Paul Newman. Is it Paul Newman? I don't know. Whoever he gets sent over by. Maybe it's not Paul Newman.
It
But
could have been.
um, he's like, I'm stuck here in Kapa'a, and that's where I lived for 13 years. But
Say that again.
Shelly
just-
says,
wait,
say
it
the
again.
fish 3 times fast.
Say it 3 times fast.
I don't know if I could do it. Huma huma nuka nuka pua a. Huma huma nuka nuka pua a. Huma huma nuka nuka pua a. Ah, I can do it.
You
Okay,
changed
yeah.
it. Hey.
Yeah. Did I change
Look.
it?
No, I think you said it. You did it.
I don't even know how you just like my brain hurts. Like
Well,
bravo. I'm like give her some hearts, y'all. Years of training or years of just getting used to it or what?
just getting used to it and but then okay, so then there's the Hawaiian language and then there's the Hawaiian style of English, which is pidgin, which has a lot of slang where if you have no idea what they're talking about, you're totally lost in translation. Because okay, so we'll say how you doing? It's how's it? It's like we'll say I'll do it later, and they'll say oh Bombay. That it doesn't even Bombay, Bombay, Bombay. If
Bombay.
instead of saying I don't know if I can, I say if can, if no can, no can. And like
They had Ebonics way before Ebonics was Ebonics.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but it's but it's totally different. I mean, I can't do it with like a Hawaiian accent. I mean, and there's but they appreciate
Hakuna Matata. Lion King.
Hakuna Matata.
Oh,
So,
man.
but yeah, there's totally a different way of speaking, and if you're like making fun, they do not like that.
They don't. They're so.
They don't.
You're right.
They don't because
You can't even joke about it. Like there was one time I was on the phone talking with one of them, one of the customers there, and tried to create a conversation. And I believe I don't remember the complete details, but it came to like a joke of me mispronouncing something, nothing related to them, right? But they said, no, you do not pronounce it that way. That I find that offensive that you just did that. I'd like to speak to your supervisor, please. I'm like, I'm the supervisor or I was a manager at the time. I'm like, sorry, I'm sorry that I offended you. Like I was just trying to make casual conversation here. Had no idea like how quick someone can go from, good chummy, whatever, and then instantly be offended by one mispronunciation. It was that serious when I was on the phone, but I don't know, of course, how it was. I mean, obviously you were there for 13 years, so you know better than I do, but it wasn't like that all the time. I wouldn't think, right? Or at least there's some forgiveness. I don't know. See, I don't. It's like I'm learning vicariously through your experience and who I
it's not a huge thing, but like they do want people to try and stuff like that, and they're not going to make fun of you because of it, but like there's no R's, and so sometimes they drop R's in words and things like that, and
Arr.
so there is no R, but like instead of 3, it's tree. So wait, there's no wait, why is it no, that's sorry, there's R, there is an R, but instead of 3 it's tree. But they do different stuff because there is no R's, but yet they do pronounce the R in 3. So it's interesting. It's super strange.
No
'cause I think there's
pirates
only-
hit Hawaii? No. Arr.
No pirate.
No.
I get
Well,
it.
Captain Cook, he was technically he was a explorer, but he was technically a pirate. So Captain Cook, and that's where the term Howleys came from. So yeah, and which doesn't mean like necessarily white people. It means it's actually worse. It actually means like no soul. And so they thought that Captain Cook and his crew were ghosts. So yeah, because they didn't have any color on their skin.
Well, the real question would have been is, can he cook? It's in the name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I had to put it
it's
out
an
there.
Captain Cook. Yeah,
Can't-
he was.
Is he
got
a
in
captain
trouble.
in the kitchen or captain on the ship or both?
Well, he was not a captain very long after he went to Hawaii. So
Captain
no.
of Davy Jones' locker.
Well, but he was the one who basically
Hey, we're the monkeys.
found Hawaii, which at the time they called them the Sandwich Islands. And there was more islands in the chain, but they were small and not habitable, and they actually eroded. So, yeah, I can go on about it. I
know.
spent a lot
It's
of time there, and
kind of fascinating.
I tried to really get into the culture and the history of the islands and stuff like that. And
I almost
tried.
got out there once. Almost.
I have
If you
yet
ever
to
get
go
the
out there.
chance, I highly recommend it. It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
if
would
there was a
love to.
part of Hawaii you would recommend going to, like which, because there's like what, 5 islands, the big one
There's
obviously.
8 islands.
Eight islands. Wow.
8
See.
islands.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's Hawaii, which is the big island. There's Molokai, which is Molokai, which is the one where they had when leprosy was a thing. That's where the lepers were.
Mm.
That's actually a really beautiful island. Not much to do there, but it's some of the best diving in the world there. Then there's Lanai and Kohalui, which is a small island. I don't think anybody lives on Kohalui. So that was 4. Molokai, Big Island, Kohalui, Lanai. Then there's Maui. Then there's Oahu. Then there's Kauai. And then there's Niihau. And Niihau is the Forbidden Island. Only Native Hawaiians that have at least 50% Hawaiian blood can live there. I believe it's 50%.
Wow, we just
And-
went totally Harry Potter on the Forbidden half blood true. You know what I'm sorry. I
Right.
went down
Yeah.
that road.
No. But it's so it's actually because they want to preserve the island. They want to keep it more
Keep the
island
culture,
style. Keep the culture, keep the traditions and things like that. They do send the children from Niihau to Kauai for schooling, and they actually do boat over and do shopping and things like that.
I
but
wonder
they
if it
live
kind of
off-
falls under that whole Native American kind of theology, if
It's
you want to
kind
call
of
it that.
like, yeah, I guess you could kind of call it like a reservation land or something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
It is privately owned by a family that gave it to the Hawaiians, and so it's
We
the
gotta
only
figure out
island that is
what island
privately
Pastor
owned.
Jeremiah they moved to. The children's pastor and his wife and the kids. It was around around COVID time that they moved over to one of the islands in Hawaii. And
Islands.
yeah, I'm not sure if it was the main one or one of the offset islands.
So if you want party and shopping, you go to Oahu. That's where Honolulu is, which is the state capital. And a lot of people mistake that Honolulu is an island, and no, it's just a city on Oahu. But that's also where Pearl Harbor is and things like that. There's lots of really beautiful places there, but you go there and you basically land in like a metropolitan city in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
I went there once in the 13 times I lived there. It was cool, but not my cup of tea.
And the main base is there too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, the main base is there. But there is also a base on the Big Island on Hawaii, and there's also a naval base on Kauai. Very small though.
Yeah, they got a couple of different sections. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but if you want to go to experience the volcanoes, then you go to Hawaii. If you want kind of like a little bit of fun and relaxation, you go to Maui. If you want a lot of relaxation, you go to like Lanai or to Kauai. And Lanai I never made it to, but I did go to Maui. I went to the Big Island a lot. I had an opportunity to go to Molokai, but I didn't go, which I kind of kicked myself for not going. But
That happens all the
you know,
time, wherever you live. It's like,
well,
I
you
live
know,
20 minutes down, or, I live, or even if it is just like a 20-minute flight, the small little planes to get to, or boat ride or whatever. But
yeah.
doesn't matter. You could be right there. I never went to see it. It was the biggest worldwide monument, and now that I live in another state.
All right. So I got to show this one thing real quick. Go ahead. No, I wanted you to finish this because we're really curious about people that want to visit there. Like,
I always thought I would get another
tour.
opportunity to do it, so that's kind of why, but at the time I couldn't remember. I was probably busy doing something, who knows, but
Yeah, because that's the thing too. When you're living there, you're not on vacation. You're working. You're constantly busy and stuff. And then people are like,
right.
"Oh, why didn't you check it out?"
Right.
Life.
But
Right.
yeah. Like, oh, I probably couldn't get the time off.
So I just put real quick too. I mean, not to interrupt you, but I put up the state flag of Hawaii, which is interesting because it has a little bit of it looks like a British flair to it. It looks like it anyway. I wonder if there was some sort of like a Britain occupation at one point, which makes me think. Oh yeah, they do have a similar, right?
Yeah.
Flag is actually green and yellow and black with two oars crossed to represent the seafaring people of that, the Polynesians that found Hawaii. So this is actually a flag that was adapted after Hawaii became a state in, I believe, 1958, so that it had more of a American flag look, which is kind of interesting.
I kind of, it is kind of interesting because it only has the two blue stripes in the middle. I'm sorry, it fascinated me when I first brought it up as I was looking up Hawaii. I'm like, oh, that's the state flag. That's interesting. But no, I mean, of course, we're already thinking about, okay, how do we want to plan one day to visit Hawaii?
Oh, there it is. It's actually green. I thought black. It's green, red, yellow. Green, red, and yellow.
Oh, green, red, and yellow.
I'm gonna
send it to me in chat via Zoom.
I'll try.
Or to Telegram, of course.
That might be the easiest way for me to do it.
While she's doing that, I have to apologize in advance, and of course for the lack of being involved in Telegram lately because I've been dealing with so much of this computer transition stuff, the desktop, trying to put it in non-technical vocabulary. It's like saying you are working with a Camaro with a 2-cylinder engine that had 4 but only 2 work. And then I had to convert some of the good stuff over to a different body or chassis that was more like a pacer or a like, but making it at least better. You know, that's where I'm at. Like that, I'm trying to conserve working parts with better parts.
Yeah, that's funny. I was almost gonna say that earlier.
Last week. I mean, I'm just. Yeah.
Yeah, I was almost going to explain it and say it that way earlier, where instead of being in the garage for hours on end and taking apart an engine, here he was taking apart the computer, all the software gadgets inside and replacing it. And yeah, like I wouldn't have a clue how to do any of that, but it amazes me what
surgery.
He's finagling to work with to get everything working and running better and sounding better. Hopefully that all stay good. So thank you guys. And I want to say, I think that's one of the reasons why I wore this shirt too, for your Dragonfly. Because
Dragonfly
if you notice, it's the word love, but using the ASL for V. So I don't know if I've worn this before or what, but I don't know. I think that's why it came to heart to wear it too. So thank you.
It's cool. The ASL language is something that intrigued me when I first met Gina. And it was in choir when we were doing that at church, and then she was up there as we were learning songs. She's learning sign language to the song's lyrics. And like, how do you do that in music form? It's kind of, you know, it was obviously alien to me. So then I got to, you know, obviously we eventually got married. But through that process, I got to learn a little bit about how she does her sign language and how cool that is. I'm a visual learning kind of person, so I can actually pick up on things quicker that way through doing and seeing. So it's a fascinating language. I really think that's cool. So Dragonfly Kisses, if that's something that's interesting to you, you know, I don't know what exactly you guys talked about there. 'Cause again, I haven't been in Telegram. I've been working in my supposed garage. You want to call it that. But yeah, so sorry again for not being too involved with Telegram, guys, but I will pick up the pace again soon. So we got a working system. It's working a lot more stable now, so we'll see what happens. We just got to get it to the point where, obviously, I do want to mention this. So you guys that have been helping, thank you so much. Donations, they've been instrumental to some of the upgrades that we're putting into the system, and we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. So I can't thank you guys enough. This is what we do it for. We do it for you guys. We do it for the community. We want to be back up and running and do this daily if we can. I mean, that's the whole point. I want to be able to really get this thing off the ground and be able to grow a community and have this amazing, you know, time with you guys. Obviously not every night at 1:30 in the morning, but but you know, if we do it for fun at 1:30 in the morning, then sure, why not? But anyways, we want to be a little more consistent. So thank you. Let's leave it at that. So back to sign language. I'm sure you had a couple things you wanted to say, Gina.
Oh, I thought I had changed the subject because we were talking.
Back to Hawaii. Those that want to come to Hawaii.
We do have a birthday coming up in a couple days. I saw on there.
Oh, did I miss that?
So
whose birthday is it going to be?
When did she say her birthday? Carrie's birthday. She said like in a couple days or something.
Carrie, it's going to be your birthday?
So we are praying that she is out of the hospital to celebrate
man.
her birthday. Because
Yeah.
I have so been there. This last year, that was one of the times, right?
Yep.
I got released the day before my birthday. Yeah, my birthday was on Saturday. I got released Friday, and he drove me out to the beach on Saturday to see the sunset and stuff, at least. Because I had been, locked up in the hospital for like a week or so. Week and a half. I forget how long that stay was. So we were like, yeah, we're going to get out. We're going to get out by my birthday. And yes, I was released and got to celebrate my birthday with my Zaiden in it.
Yeah.
We weren't out there long, but it was just enough to be out of the house, out of the hospital, and it was special. So we are praying that, yes, you get out of the hospital and back in your comfortable own bed, own home, Carrie. We want the best health for you. So,
Amen.
Lord,
Everybody, let's give, honestly, hearts in this chat for Carrie in this situation. I mean, anybody that has to go through this situation, my heart goes out to. Obviously, Gina knows I've been there and I've experienced that with her. It's never fun to have to be able to do that, especially on important days like your birthday or holiday, where you can't have that experience. You know, if you're like, and I'll just put it out there, like lupus patients or down and out, you can't move out of bed, you're stuck. You feel like you're just a prison to your bed. And it sucks. It's like you can't really do anything about it because it really just limits your mobility, your ability to have energy. And we call it spoons. It's a way of measuring our energy. So that's a way of communicating how we mathematically will say, hey, we're down to about maybe half a spoon. So that's like our cue
spoon theory.
Okay, we need to, spoon theory. There's a whole thing on that. There is. It's actually kind of fascinating.
So it was someone that is diagnosed as a lupus, has systemic lupus, amongst a couple other autoimmune conditions.
Yeah.
And to briefly explain it, she was trying to explain to her friend asked her, what's it feel like for you to deal with these autoimmune conditions, with lupus or other things? And I guess they were out to eat. So she says, well, picture this. Okay, see, let's grab these
Thank you, Tim.
dozen spoons off the table. And here you go. Now, for each thing you do, it's going to take a spoon. But remember, you only have this dozen spoons to get through the day. So, again, paraphrasing it. I'll probably send the attachment or whatever to the actual story poem that it's Christina something that wrote it. But she says, okay, so what's the first thing you would do? Well, when I get out of bed, okay, that's a spoon. But I was just getting out of bed. I haven't brushed my teeth or showered or anything. Yeah, but it took energy, strength, and everything to get out of bed. So that's a spoon right there. And they continue to go on the day. Okay, I have to go, drop off the kids to school, and then when I get back home, I gotta make sure I do the load of laundry or what have you. And so we're getting towards the end of the day, and you have 2 spoons left. You still have to find what you're going to eat for dinner and get ready for bed. And you still have to make a few phone calls. And don't forget that other load of laundry that needs to come out. So with 2 spoons, what are you going to do? Well, I guess the laundry stays. I guess I'll wait to shower tomorrow. And I definitely have to eat, though. So There you go. I don't know if that helps paraphrase it, but the way she wrote it was really good. So whenever we're going through the day, and especially if we're like out in public or something, I guess that's our little keyword of saying, you know, I only got like one spoon left. So it's this or that. I can't do both. But we make it through, and that's the spoon theory.
So I actually have the article up right now. I'm a spoonie. Here's what I wish more people knew about chronic illness. It looks like Healthline, and it is by a lupus patient. I'll even give you guys a link if you want it, but it's a really interesting read. Really interesting stuff. But so anybody that has to deal with this, you'll understand the spoon theory. I saw Shelley made a statement, I think, about it.
It's helped when other people ask me and they want to try to have a better understanding. Oh, but why can't you come out with us? You look fine and you've been up and at it all day. You know, you can join us. Well, that's why I used my spoons earlier. So
there's another misconception too, because there's obviously a lot of people judge the book by the cover, and that's just the way people are. You know, they only believe what they see. They don't understand what they don't see, and that's just truth, right? So it's like, okay, how do I understand that? You have to ask questions or get to know the person to understand their situation. So you have somebody riding a scooter, for example. Like an electric scooter at a Walmart. Well, I don't want to get into Walmart because there's all kinds of different types of people that ride scooters at Walmart. But
because the spoon theory is also on the site of "but you don't look sick."
That's what I'm leading to, right? So you just look like a normal person abusing the system, and that's not true at all. So. And that I can see why people can get that have this condition can get annoyed by that, because, you know, you're trying to get through the day, just being able to get from point A to point B, and then you have to sit here and deal with people looking at you funny or making weird comments to you, saying, okay, are you sick or something? You know, like questioning you. You know, it's you know, frustrating, but I mean, I've been with her long enough to understand what that feels like now. So I'm one that I have to admit I didn't understand too much of chronic illness situations like this, like the depth of it, until I got to know her. But I'm sorry that other people feel that way, and I don't act that way towards people. I just, you know, you always have that thought that pops into your head that, like, why is this person riding let's just through the example, for example, Walmart, you know, why is this person riding a scooter? And it's a kid. Obviously they're really just being rambunctious and, you know, using something that they shouldn't be using. But then there's ones that need it. Okay, so there's these thoughts that go through your head. I'm like, okay, is this legit or is it not legit?
Yeah, we've gotten those looks.
So anyways, I'm sure some of you may relate to that if you have chronic scenarios like that. But with that said, it kind of goes to a story that I had with Gina when I took her to Tennessee for a Christmas event. Some of you may know what the Grand Ole Opry is, or the Opryland Hotel. Very known for country music people.
And this was my first time meeting what would become my in-laws.
The in-law first meet. Yes.
Because they were living up there at the time.
So we go up through, we had to take a plane. Now, here's another thing. When you have this condition, and not to mention AVMs in your leg, a whole spider web of craziness attacking your nerves, that's painful. And then you go to an altitude of 30,000 feet in a plane, that does a number to the pressures that take place onto your body. So there was that concern. And then we had to get to point B, which is landing and then being able to perform and do things while we're there. So we had the wheelchair. We had gotten that ready. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to make this fun. So obviously we went through the hotel. This hotel is like a wonderland of things that happen. Like you can go shopping. There's different experiences. There's a boat ride is similar to something you find in Italy. In there, what do they call it?
And super decked out, decorated for Christmas, all lit up and stuff. Yeah.
And there was this one. Okay, of course, sidelining a little bit, but there was this one thing where we had these 3D goggles or something, and they had pictures of candy canes or something everywhere. It was so trippy.
Yeah, it would make the light show pop out.
It was fun. But anyways, I would take her on her wheelchair. And of course, I would just scoot her like it's a roller coaster sometimes because this thing is multi-level. This place is so huge, and so I'm like, let's go have some fun up this ramp, down this ramp, go around this turn, and then she's like, oh, this is so fun. So we made fun of the situation. Took a bunch of pictures and had a good experience. That was the whole point in a bad situation. So. Whenever you're in a situation, try to take advantage of it in a positive way, I guess.
So yes, him pushing me around in the wheelchair, and in just such an exciting way, and putting a smile on my face. And that was actually, I think, the first time I told him out loud that I love you.
Yep.
So that's what just finally, melted my heart.
And mine even more. Hee hee. Oh, man. That was so awesome.
So, how this went this direction,
I don't know. I'm just turning. Okay, I don't know why I'm like turning into a big old tomato.
Because they're both gonna get red now.
Because it's madness.
It's madness.
Madness.
It's only 3:00 in the morning Eastern time. Whatever time I don't know what time it is anymore. It's late. It's madness late.
Madness. You know, hey guys, remember Lindsay Lohan returns. Just kidding.
I know, I was thinking that earlier.
Lindsay Lohan. This is all about Lindsay Lohan, guys.
Look, we just kind of hinted back to Christmas.
I guess we're thankful for not talking about Lindsay Lohan, right? No.
What are you thankful for? Not talking about the topic for tonight.
I just looked at the. I'm like, the thumb or whatever. Yeah, it's like, there's about meh. Okay, that's not fun.
I really didn't know what to throw up there at the time. Like I had nothing to talk about other than like just some real world stuff like we normally do. But so it's like, hey, segue, Christmas time. Oh, who was it we were talking about? Don't know. Anyways, there you go. So, look at all those hearts. Yes, of course. It was a good experience. Anytime you can have a good experience like that, and make it out of a bad scenario or whatever scenario that's not as positive, go for it. It's how we roll. Work hard for it. Live it. Anyways, sorry.
You said you put in there the "but you don't look sick" attachment.
Oh no, that's a different article right there. So if you want to go ahead and post that when you can. The link.
That's the main site, and then it gives the spoon theory in there at the "but you don't look sick." So
the one that, so that again, going back to the whole "you don't look sick" thing, it's
just share that.
Here we are having fun in a wheelchair in Tennessee, and then not trying to be all political and stuff, but all these Republicans are looking at us like, you're abusing the system. I mean, some ugly looks. Like,
Yeah, there's a couple comments in here from like Shelly
whatever.
and Carrie and stuff that they've gotten those responses and. But I had one time.
Ignore that stuff.
Yeah.
Ignore it.
I would be a smarty pants and be like, well, what is it supposed to look like?
Yeah.
You know, like, come on now.
No, there was.
You know.
I
Some
went
of them
to.
respond that way too. It's like you kind of giving them a platform. I've done that because I honestly I used to be that bad to the point where
Oh yeah,
I'd
you catch
almost
yourself.
have to
You
deck somebody
judge,
because they
not
wouldn't shut
be
up about it.
judged.
Yeah, no.
I've been in
Yeah,
plenty
I
of fisticuffs before, man. It's not fun.
Yeah, there was one day because I knew I wasn't gonna be up to like making anything, cooking anything, and then there was this one like Mon Paul restaurant by the house that they had a special, and I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll just order the special and we'll split it. I'll just do the pick up from there and get back home to eat. So
Right.
went ahead and placed the order, and I parked in the handicap. I don't think I had the scooter on my lift or anything, but it would at that point take more work. Even
She still had a car with a lift on it.
yeah,
That
yeah. I had my
indicates
car. Yeah,
There's something going on here.
yeah,
Just there you
and
go.
but it would have taken more, to offload the scooter, get on it, to go pick it up. So I just parked at the handicap to walk in, and I can't remember if I had my cane or not. I think I was like using my umbrella or something, so people don't realize that I'm using it as a cane. So when I get out and I'm waiting for my order, this other couple that I guess wanted to park there, and they had to park 2 car spaces over,
Just to
gave me a dirty look and started accusing me of wrongfully parking there. And I can't even explain how much pain I
Do
was
you
dealing
think
with
it
that
was-
day.
Do you think it was because you said they were older? Do you think it was because like of your age that they were doing that to you?
Yeah, and they weren't older. They
weren't older?
no,
Okay.
just a couple, maybe.
I can see why that would be.
Yeah. No, they were
point.
probably around the same age, within 5
Okay.
years. If I really wanted to judge, I could say things to judge them about. But
Right. No, but
I won't.
That's not our place, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
and
learned
but
my
yeah,
lesson the
they
hard way too
see
many times.
someone that looks fit and young and automatically think, oh, they're just lazy, or they're just doing cheating, using the cheat card. But yeah, because there's times when if I'm having a better day, I will not park there. And a better day doesn't mean 100%. It just means a better day. So I'm going to push myself to walk those extra steps. But this was a day where it's like, I don't know if I'm barely going to get out of the car to grab the food to go home and eat it. So when they approached me, I was already almost in tears from the pain. And then I was like, okay, fine. You really want to hear it? This is why I parked there. And I went off on my list of medical issues, and probably not even all of them, just a few of them, on why. It shut them up. They were speechless. They didn't know what to say or how to look at me or anything at that point. So, of course, I was trying to approach it the right way, but it was just eating at me. Because I don't know if they're going to accuse the next person or judge or what. So I had to tell them, no, this isn't cheating. This is what different people go through. So please take that into consideration and understanding the next time. you make a call. So
Wow. Yeah, so you can tell she was trying to fight back some tears here, guys, because it's so emotional that you have to deal with the pain in the first place. And then you have to deal with somebody, then you have to defend with the energy that you have to defend yourself with because somebody's attacking you for it. It's like you're okay, now all of a sudden you're on the witness stand taking some cross-examination by a prosecutor that wants to put you away for life. It's like one of those, you have to prove that you're innocent in a situation that you shouldn't have to prove yourself for. I guess the point out of this is, we want to make sure we take care of each other and be kind to each other. This is a common theme that we strive for because you never know what kind of person you're going to run into. You don't know their situation. You don't know what their backstory is. You don't know their health or whatever situation, physically, emotionally, or whatever that they went through. Me, I had a somewhat different path, but a very difficult upbringing myself that most people would probably check themselves into either a mental institution for or be locked away in prison for because they just got too angry because of the experience. That's how my life was. And having to live with the PTSD and the pain from all of that over the years, still do. I just found a way to deal with it better. And mine is, well, two things. One, my Christianity, and just knowing what love is, to understand it, to understand what caring for others looks like. And number two, meeting my wonderful wife over here. She's instrumental to knowing what a relationship and love should look like. Mm-hmm. So that's the message that we always like to bring. I love her so much.
Love you.
Yeah.
Carrie jumped on.
Carrie, I see you jumping
Lisa's
on there.
having
Hello.
trouble with the Wi-Fi. Hey, Carrie.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm a little groggy. But I have a very similar story. I was in Walmart one time, and this woman, I was waiting for the next available ride on, cart, and a woman, there was three of us in line, and a woman just decided to jump right in front of me and start hollering at the Walmart greeter, saying that her husband had a bad leg, and she proceeded to say that, pointing to me, that I was next, and that there was two others behind me, and that the next available ride on was for me. And yes, I look very young for my age, and didn't care. She had such an attitude when she looked at me, she looked at me as if say, what could possibly be wrong with you, and I suffer from severe pain, and I have that breathing problem. I can't for the life of me think of it right now. And then I have bad edema, so if I walk, the fluid it was already up past my knees, and if it gets any higher, I'm supposed to go to the hospital to for them to drain it so it doesn't go to my heart. And sure enough, she complained her way all through the store and took a cart off of someone. And then we're all sitting there and we see her and her husband drive by. And I was just thinking to myself, like, you know, like that's rude because it's just not right because you don't know what people are going through. And, you know, yes, I'm young, but unfortunately I have a lot of health problems. And it made me sad that, at the way she was acting and treating me. And, I just thought it was wrong. So I know what you mean totally, Gina, and, you know, people gotta think of other people, because you really don't know, you know, what could be wrong with the other person, and the best thing to do is, I learned this a long time ago, is to never assume. And that's obviously what she did. So, but the greeters were so mad that they didn't even know how she was able to get it. So, yeah,
Wow.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. So that's why I jumped on, just to, you know, let you guys know I totally understand, and I think it's terrible. Yeah. So
Yeah, there was
I
someone the
noticed
other
that
day that I was checking out of like the grocery store or something, and they were just pacing back and forth, waiting because I guess they wanted to use the scooter. And it was like it's
Yeah.
interesting how
So they pretty much made it known that they were getting, like, upset that you were, like, is that what they were doing, or?
yeah, like very antsy about it. And it's like, well, I can only move so fast, you know, when you're kind of struggling and weak at that point, you can't move as fast as normal, and yeah, you're gonna pace yourself. Still gotta, you know, get to the car and stuff. And I think that day I even had an aide with me, and so that showed too. You know, she's in her scrubs, and so but the lady, you know, she did. I think she followed us to the parking lot and stuff so she could get the scooter, and which is fine. She needs it, you know. Great. It's just interesting how, like, if it was just a regular cart, people would almost show more respect and step back and patiently wait and not like make them all known and nervous and stuff. Yet the same or similar respect isn't honored in that situation. When you would think the people would have more empathy, it's like they become pushier at times. But I don't know. That's some of my experiences. But again, I try to have more empathy for everyone out there because of your own life experiences. Then you want to be helpful and not hurtful to others. Live and learn. What you think, Carrie?
Sorry, I actually lost you guys. The Wi-Fi is terrible here
Oh.
at the hospital. So
Oh yeah.
I was actually talking, and I don't know if you guys got to finish what I said, and I didn't get to hear you. I'm so sorry.
No, I think we caught what you were saying. I was just trying to feed off of what you were saying in some of the experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no need for it. Like, people, I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm a little loopy.
Hey, don't
Right
blame
now.
yourself for that. We're all kind of loopy. It's I don't know what time it is anymore. Like we're so it is the madness. It's after midnight, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And they got me on medication, so my apologies. But
No need to
I
apologize.
just wanted to say that I feel your pain, and even though we may look young, it doesn't give them the right to assume that their problem is worse than others, and with me, I mean, if I see someone that is waiting for one, and if I have time, I will, let them go ahead before me, because I know what it's like. So
Yeah. Yes, you have a big heart.
Yeah.
I try.
Yes, you do, Carrie.
I definitely do.
Very passionate, very
Yes.
loving. We can tell, Carrie.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me into what I'm about to do next. So I'm switching gears, going to my main screen here because there's a few donations I wanted to point out. Thank you. Let's give some thanks out. So I definitely got to play the sound bit. Both of them. I'm going to do both. Excellent! The excellent one. Excellent! Excellent! And then the crazy Zaiden one. Zaiden,
Oh. Sorry. When...
I can't. I can't. It's too funny. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Carrie. Your donation. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. And again, and it was
thank you.
little or a bunch or whoever, whatever. Anything you guys do, it's respected equally. So, Carrie, we know you're dealing with a lot. So for you to do anything at all, which is not expected, because we want you to take care of yourself,
Better.
makes this donation even that much more important. So oh, Shelly's leaving. Have a good night, Shelly.
Yeah, good night, Shelly. Nice having you on here.
Real quick, hold on to that thought for just a second, Carrie. I do want to also point out that Dragonfly Kisses. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Dragonfly Kisses.
At it again.
Wow. My heart is just melting. Okay, I'm gonna go back to you guys for a second because now I'm gonna start getting emotional. Sorry, Carrie. Go ahead with what you were saying.
Oh,
Thank you, guys.
I forget.
Something about the hurricane relief funds that you were trying to get and you haven't got yet.
Oh, yeah. So, most of my family, they got to do it over the phone, but we were first told to do it online, and so that's how I did it. And so I called because we were still waiting, and one of my family members told me to try and call. And I did, and they said to go to the nearest Red Cross, Canadian Red Cross, and so obviously I couldn't go. So my mom went, and it was a waste of time, and they wanted us to actually drive, not us, I don't know, don't mind me, at least 3 hours away, when everybody else, well, most of the people got to do it on the phone through a automatic, like a interact transfer.
Mm.
So yeah, my poor mom drove a half an hour, and the gas price is like almost $1.90 a liter. It just is insane. It's never been that high before. I don't know how much that is in a gallon, but it's high. It's the highest we've ever had to deal with. So that was a wasted trip.
Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, and it costs. That's another thing too. Like, especially doctor's appointments, and you have to talk about scenarios where you have to reschedule or something doesn't happen right. And then you spend all that time driving and all that gas money you waste. That's cost that, you know, you need to have the money to be able to survive. So it's really, and that's a pet peeve of mine. Like, you set up an appointment, a time frame, and you know, you commit to that. And that's one of the things I had. I'm backtracking here for a minute. Like today, earlier, I had quoted, I'm going to be online today. Heck or high water, I'm going to make this stream happen. So it bothers me when I can't commit something like this important, especially this important, to me and to Gina as well. So it's like, okay, I got to get this done. So my biggest pet peeve is when someone willingly just says, well, I'm going to change my mind. We're going to do some other time, while you're already en route, already committed there. You've paid whatever, if it's gifts or something else. And if it's like one of those, housewarming parties or whatever, insert the blank. It's a commitment. You come to it. Obviously things happen, right? If there's things that happen that circumstantial you can't control, that's one thing. But if you're just doing that because you don't feel like it, like, I don't know. We got to go with the more important scenario for what goes into my pocket, or like doctors. I'm really kind of going to the doctor side of things here, but when they have them already overscheduled and everything's controlled by insurance companies for one, and pharmaceuticals, so they get to dictate who they should go into the office first. That's more important as a priority, so they know what money they can get first. That's what bothers me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you're no longer the priority, and then your commitment is no longer a priority. Therefore, you're no longer important. And that's just things that come with your head. Like, you feel like you're not important part of society anymore, or as far as your health. Yeah. How is it that we can get judged so easily by the standards of pharmaceuticals and insurance companies, yet we're the ones that probably need the help the most? So where's your heart at? Is it in the money and greed, or is it in helping people?
Oh my, do I have a quick story for you. Just a few months
I can
ago,
imagine. Go ahead.
There was a doctor's appointment that was 5.5 hours away. So, drove there. Well, I didn't drive, but we drove there, and come to find out, I made it for the night before, come for the next day in the morning, just before to go to the doctor's appointment. I get a call saying that my doctor's on vacation.
Ah,
That is what. Okay, I can relate to that because that pissed me off so bad when that happened to me. This is when I lived in, I think, Tennessee. That's the same exact thing that happened to me. I had this appointment and they did not call me to say, hey, we need to reschedule you because the doctor will not be available. No, it's like, okay, doctor's not here. Sorry, we're going to have to reschedule. I'm like, okay, do you have a practitioner or anybody else? No. Sorry. And then my appointment was scheduled for another 2 months out. And I'm like,
That's
what?
terrible.
Now, for me, I have ADD, not hyperism. So that means my hamster is going a little slow in here. So I have to take a little, I'm prescribed Adderall because it helps regulate my brain chemistry to stay on top of my my ability to stay, the hamster wheel keep turning, you know what I mean, on a faster platform.
not a squirrel.
No, that would be the hyper. That would be the one where
I like the
wheel,
hamster reference versus.
it would jump out and try to go to another hamster wheel that doesn't exist. That's a whole nother ballgame. That technically is not me.
I know what you mean. I have that one.
So yeah, I have to get Adderall prescribed to me. So the problem here is that was when the laws changed for the U.S. when it came to narcotics and these drugs that are. It was a big battle on opioids. Of course, the one that gets attacked first is the non-opioid drugs. So there needs to be approval by your doctor to be able to get Adderall prescribed to you in a every 90 days fashion. So because that was pushed back 2 months, I was without medication for a month and a half. And I couldn't get anybody else soon enough scheduled to be able to get that approval because it has to go through my primary care physician. So I was really up a creek. And I kid you not, I mean, basically that's it's kind of like how I had to quit my job up there because I couldn't focus on it anymore. It's that bad. It's to that point where I cannot literally, my brain chemistry changes to a point where everything slows down. She's seen it. I have these things called freezers if I try to multitask. And it's like you think, and then I stutter for a minute, and it's like everything just kind of shuts off, like your computer froze. Or your Wi-Fi drops on you and you can't connect. Like you're just dead in the water for a minute, and then you have to start over again. Like you're in a reboot cycle trying to play catch up to what the heck you just missed. So I had that problem for a good solid month and a half. That was probably one of the worst experiences I've had. One of them. And when it comes to medical, that's why I can relate to your situation. That is just terrible. Carrie, I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Able to kind of pick up on when he's going into what we so-called freezers because of the experience of having the actual seizures. So it does almost seem like a partial.
They called it a panic. They actually declared it panic attacks, but
so
whatever.
But able to catch and comfort him through that moment. But yeah, it's just the everything overwhelming on how too much data, too much information at once.
Yeah.
And you can imagine. I'm sorry, Carrie, but yeah, if you can imagine, that's how I grew up as a kid, having to go through all of that and being picked on and being bullied because I was different, because I was too slow. I couldn't pick up on things. And of course I was distracted by being bullied. And I had straight Fs almost all the time until I can get into a tutor class where I literally wasn't getting hurt, abused, sexually, you name it. I've put a check in the checkbox as a kid that should not have to go through something. I've been through it. So, you know, it's sad that someone has to pick on your disabilities. Even in the workplace, you know, I've been through that too, and it's really unfortunate. But anyways, so yeah, the whole point is, you know, you get into that situation where you don't get your medication, or you get the medical needs, and then all of a sudden you feel like you just been dropped like a bad habit, and you're no longer important. That's one of the biggest, like I said, it's like that commitment is so important when it comes to, especially in the medical field, when you're having these doctor's appointments, when you're having and that's just me from one scenario. Gina over here has to play liaison to insurance companies, to pharmaceutical, to doctor's offices, to specialists, and then making sure that everybody understood like, you know, how you play the game of phone and you relay a message and it changes. She has to stay on top of that daily, not just one time a day either. I'm talking, she makes it a full-time job. It's that crazy.
That's insane. That's not supposed to be on you, honey.
It shouldn't be like that.
It's supposed to be your job.
That's what it ends up coming down to. It's funny. One of the things that happened, but this, the
thanks, Yvonne.
The
Appreciate that comment.
Omnipods, so far, it's been pretty good. When it came to the Libre monitors, a lot of them started going bad faster, but they were still always good about exchanging them. But it just so happened when I went to go put the new Omnipod, the insulin distributor on the other day, it usually has to, because I had put the Dexcom 6 on too, the monitor reader, and that usually takes 2 hours to line up with the reader to give you the exact numbers. And it was still within that processing time and just shy of the 2 hours, and all of a sudden the Omnipod just went out, just said must deactivate. It wouldn't even give me the chance to turn off and on the device to get it to sync right. And so I just put the full dosage of insulin for the next few days in there. And
agreed, Cheryl.
That's money, because how do I replace that or what? So sure enough, I get on the phone with Omnipod that evening or whatever, or that afternoon, and it says wait time is at least 45 minutes.
Oh.
But the thing is, that wasn't surprising to me. That's like your typical, if you're calling the insurance or the doctor's office or for the referrals or whatever. So I did say, okay, well, I'll just try to call back later, because that one happens to be a 24-hour call center. And so I called a few hours later. Wait time is still at least an hour.
This
so
was just terrible, but it's kind of comical in a way too.
Yeah.
But, it is terrible that you had to wait till 4 a.m. just to get a hold of somebody that you need medicine.
And that's what I ended up doing. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning that I finally called again. And I was still anticipating, okay, let's see, it's taking me through the prompts, and maybe it'll just tell me, wait 10 minutes or something. And I get through the prompts, and the lady says, hello, how can I help you? And I'm like, huh? What? Oh yeah. I wasn't expecting that quick.
Like sometimes you get surprised. That was a shocker. Wow. They came on the phone. I'm like, is that a recording? I'm like, no, it's a real person.
But that's just
Don't lose them.
Yeah. So that's an example why it becomes like 24/7 hour job and Cheryl. Yeah, advocating is unfortunately more and more nowadays. Yeah, you need the advocate to help you process all the stuff with the insurance, with the doctors. Who was it the other day that was on one of the chats too, and saying how she has to look out for the patients and their medications and treatments and stuff. I think it might have been in Lewis's chat or something. But it's so true. Like if we could design a company to do that was affordable, boy, it would be awesome. And that could, get past regulations and all the legality and stuff and who's liable. And there's, a couple companies, corporations out there that are starting, but they're not cheap either. So not everybody can afford that.
Go ahead, Gina. I'm sorry.
I think Temp even, knew about one too that does
he
that kind of
sent us a
advocacy
link,
work.
about that too. And I was talking about this with Gina before as well, where the idea of, and this is a huge niche or however you want to say it. I think in this situation, I think there needs to be a company healthcare situation for liaison type of work to advocate for for the patient, to be able to help do all of that legwork that's needed for the patient so they don't have to suffer. Now, I have a big heart for that because I don't like to see people suffer in a field where you have to be forced to call all of these different practitioners and your insurance companies, your pharmaceuticals, just to get medicine you needed like 2 minutes ago. I obviously won't I can't have the energy to do it myself, so I would encourage anybody that would be able to have those resources and have the discipline to stick to it, to have that devotion to the patient. That is very important right now, because that's what's in the cracks right now is the patients themselves. It
takes a lot of spoons.
It beyond that, I seen this girl. I tell you, it's like, it's draining to watch. It's draining to watch her go through this, and she has to force herself to do it. They literally cannot talk to me half the time because I'm not on their authorized list of whatever. I need to speak to the patient. That kind of. There's apparently so much phishing going on out there that patients are at risk, so they have to be very cautious on who they speak with. I get that. It's just I can at least try to advocate a little bit, but that would mean I'd have to push myself a little farther with my voice and be a little stern, and of course that could be a little stressful too to your patient that you're trying to defend. So it's like you really want to help where you can, and it's just almost a no-win scenario no matter how you look at it, because you still have to advocate, you still have to play liaison no matter what, and that's the sad story to that. I just really the positive, if there is to be a positive, things like what Temp shared, and there was a couple other companies out there kind of steering into that direction, but it really needs to become a full-on, let's attack this, let's be the full liaisons that these patients need us to be, and then be able to help them where it's needed the most. So hopefully anybody that's watching this video out there one day will have this idea and really take off with it. It really can. It really is one of those things that will probably take off if you do something like this, but it takes a lot of work, I can imagine.
Temp and Cheryl are saying, how they're so overbooked. And he said 3,000, last time he checked, 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And, per doctor person.
It's starting to get that way down in here in the U.S. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. And that's where, like, as far as here, people get mad at the doctors and stuff, and the doctor's offices for, why are you so overbooked and you can't spend quality time with me. I honestly don't blame the doctors. It's the insurance. It's the rest of the structure that's pushing them to have to see that many patients, and majority of time, because once you find a good doctor, you know the communication with them, but you also know that they're pressed for time only because that's how that office is pushing them, because that's how they're going to get paid through insurance, because insurance is like giving them bare minimal too, and they're having to dot all their I's and cross all their T's. And if you don't have that EOB sent in correctly, or the doctor's note sent in correctly, you will get that explanation of benefits back saying, oh, nope, we're not paying this. So it's, those doctors that are being pressured to flip through those patients.
Guess who has to be responsible
and
to make it right?
Yeah, the patients.
Yeah.
To catch those things, and make sure they get approved. And yeah, I had an appointment the other day. I had to cancel because the referral wasn't there on time. But that's just the typical. But yeah, it's more about the corporate, the insurances again, versus the doctors. But there's still a lot of caring, passionate.
There are
medical employees.
They're getting
out
overworked
there.
too.
It's
they
just
are, because of insurance.
They're getting burnt out, and
man, we struck a chord here. But the one thing I want to add to that is it's forcing the doctors, pretty much. I should say the insurance is forcing the doctors their hand to the point where they are stuck having to agree with what their demands are in the insurance industry to be able to support them financially, for one. So because that's what feeds, the meal, if you will, then the doctors are kind of at a whim or at a loss as to their decision-making process. Who has the rights to benefit the patient more? Now here's what's going on is the doctors are just saying, screw it, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I'm going to go into a family practice or a organization of doctors, and that's what's going on in the US right now, and it's going into a very high rate where you're seeing not just doctors but doctor affiliates, where you're having 10, maybe sometimes more doctors in one organization now. It's forcing these doctors to come into this organization just to be able to handle insurance company demands. And they're still getting overbooked with patients' appointments. So it's basically a bubble that's blowing up, or balloon that's going to the point where it's about to blow up. That's what it feels like to me. Like you can't just force and say, oh, this doctor can have let's just break that 30-minute appointment down to 15 now. We could fit you in there, and then you get your patient taken care of. No, let's go ahead and choke it up a little bit more and make it 10-minute increments. So now you have to be forced as a doctor to see patients 6 times an hour and not really be able to sit down and diagnose and have a conversation about your health because you're limited to just 10 minutes. My doctor, and I kid you not, this is my doctor. You have to come in, and he's a great doctor. I have to come in prepared with what I need or need to say, because he has to move so quick to the next patient that you'll forget what it is that you came in, and you forget it's already too late. He's with the next patient. I have to reschedule. And he's in and out in less than 10 minutes, sometimes 5.
Like, what good does that do? That's not enough time.
No,
I
you need
really
to
wish
diagnose.
that the U.S. would take like look into the Canadian way of healthcare, and we don't have to
All right, Lisa.
deal.
Lisa's
Yeah,
about
like,
to
we don't have
head
to.
out.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Sorry, Lisa. I know you had to get going. You're
We
probably
got on
nodding
this
like
range.
you're.
We're open
It's
to new subjects.
No, it's okay. No, I mean, I'm
She's gonna
listening.
pass out.
But no. But yeah, no, I did. I had a long day today, and I got another long day with my family tomorrow too. So I'm just like, probably should go to sleep so that I can spend time with them. And I'm like all in my comfy chair, and usually that's a bad sign when I get in my comfy chair. So
We all next
Yeah.
is we're.
no, yeah, well, thank God I'm muted. 'Cause, so, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I have been known. So, but no, yeah. So,
Understandable.
yeah. Good night, everybody, and you know, it was fun tonight, and
Yeah.
we'll catch you next time. Alrighty.
Absolutely. All right, Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Have
Good
a
night.
hopping in
Good
time at
night.
sleep.
Sweet
Good night.
dreams.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So, Carrie, you were saying, sorry, you had an experience like this, right?
Yeah. Like first of all, you guys going like going it without Adderall. I mean, I've been on that. You must have been so sick. And Gina, like you can't go without your insulin. Like this stuff is insane. I really believe that the U.S. really needs to take a look at what Canada is doing with their health care, because we don't have to deal with the insurance company. And it's not that it's free health care here. It's what it is that we pay a small tax that's in our taxes that we pay daily, and it's very, very, very small. And it eliminates so many of the problems and out-of-pocket expenses that you guys have to deal with there. And if the government would just take a look and see what, our government is doing, it would really alleviate so many problems with the way you guys get cared for. And it frustrates me to hear about. I mean, there was someone that I know that visited the U.S. and she ended up getting like a gallstone or whatever, and it turned out to be not covered when she had some kind of flare up, ended in the hospital. And they insisted that, I don't even know if it was a gallstone, but they insisted that what was wrong with her happened in Canada, therefore she was not covered in the U.S. and had to pay over $40-some thousand.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And we don't have to do that. We don't have to pay a cent going into any hospital. Which, thank God for people like, us, that have health problems and that need hospitals. And and then going without medication. Certain medication you cannot go without. You just can't, or it really can screw with your body and your mind, and it's just not fair. It's not fair. And, I do understand with the, like, especially like the pain medication, like they don't want to give that out early. And but one thing I've learned was to ask the doctor for the first prescription to have an extra day, and then to have refills after that with just the normal amount, so that if there's a snowstorm or a power outage, I'm usually okay, because I'm on a lot of medication, like pain medication, that I can't go without, and others that are the same way, and I'm sure you guys are too. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's just change needs to happen. Change needs to happen, and it needs to happen like a million years ago. You know, I just feel bad. Like I feel bad.
Wow.
Especially for you, Gina, having to, with all your medical problems, having to talk to the insurance companies. Like, I never, like, until you brought that up, that I never even thought that that's what you had to do. So, I mean, it's sad, and it's sickening. Like,
It really is.
I really wish that your government would take a look, even, because it's worth it to pay like 1% or point something percent in tax. That way you don't have to deal with like worrying about, say, having a child. Like, you don't have to pay for that here, and or emergency, or anything going to the hospital, and I can get my medications covered, and so for most of them I don't have to pay a cent. So I really wish that could be for you guys, you know, because that's just terrible, and it's not right, and it needs to change.
Agreed. Dragonfly Kisses, I know you're heading out too.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dragonfly Kisses. We love you. You have a great rest of your night. Get some good sleep.
Get some
Bye.
good rejuvenating rest. We might all need to start doing that.
We're probably going to start
in a
falling
minute
like
here.
flies in a minute. But I just want to follow up your comment here, because according to debt.org, bankruptcies, as far as the ranking of bankruptcies, the single most highest reason in the U.S. cause for bankruptcy is because of outstanding medical debt. Not credit card debt,
Yeah.
not student loans, medical debt. Number one. Number two is student loan debt. Number three, no, not student loan debt, because credit card debt is number two. Yeah, so if you can think about that for a second, medical debt. Wow. For the last 2 decades, or decade and a half, since 2005, has been the leading cause of bankruptcy. Medical debt. So, yeah, there's a problem. There's definitely a problem. You name it. It's either how the coverage is, like you were saying, Carrie, in Canada. There are some positives when it comes to the cost, especially the cost. Way too much. And this is the problem with the U.S. The problem is there's money and greed. It's a capitalistic country, which is good to a point. But when greed takes over the capitalistic market, and it kind of hurts the ability to make it a fair and equal trade society. So there you're getting ate up by what you call monopoly companies or conglomerates. Basically, it's just one company creating another umbrella branch, or another branch of buying out another company and making it a part of theirs. And then it turns into this, how much can they control? It's at a point where they're actually governing our country. They're the ones putting out the money into the pockets of those that make the laws change. And then you got to worry about pharmaceuticals. You're getting you the medicine and insurance companies to get you properly insured so you don't have to have a $200,000 hospital bill. And even that, you have to pay deductibles now that are so astronomically high. So we are really at a breaking point in this country when it comes to cost. So, and then going to Gina's point where she has to deal with the liaison side of things and advocating for herself. There's that going on in the country of what we call medical accountability. So how can we improve that? That's like one of the biggest questions. It has to come to the point where the consumer, as in the patient, has to be the one that the doctors, the insurance companies, and the pharmaceuticals have to compete over, not the opposite way around.
Yeah. Yeah. And change needs to happen now.
Yep. We don't have to sit here waiting for someone to maybe get you an insulin bottle to take care of you, or, you know, any kind of other medical needs that, you know, keeps you ticking, you know?
Exactly.
I am grateful, very thankful. Thank God that, you know, the insulin and the devices and stuff were approved and continue to be approved by my insurance. But I've heard of people that, yeah, are going up there to Canada and stuff because they can't get their insulin, you know, here in the States at an affordable cost. And it was like one of the medications that even though it's been around forever, they jacked up one of the most on. That was like a year or two ago where the stocks went to this ridiculous price and stuff, and they had to they gouged a certain insulin medication. And yeah, finally someone did narrow down on that company, whatever.
And I did hear of Americans, because we Canadian and US have different medications that aren't allowed in each other's countries, but the majority of medication is the same. So what Americans are doing are ordering it from Canadian websites to help with the cost.
Yeah.
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 I'm reading about how big pharma is just reaping off, you know, people that need this medicine so bad. And now it's a problem where insurance companies are saying, well, we're not going to really cover all that cost after all. The pharmaceutical insurance. And then, of course, it's really becoming a problem now. And one of the big pharma big companies, I think I read it was Eli Lilly, LLY, which was one of the companies from a Fortune 500 who profited the most from insulin based on price increases for insulin.
I haven't even heard of that company.
I haven't either until I just looked it up.
It almost seems like instead of, okay, this much money goes into creating this medication, therefore we are going to charge this higher price because it took more research, or it took more chemicals to create this, or it took a more rare fruit or whatever to create this medication, so it's going to cost this much. No, it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like more of, okay, we have way more people diagnosed with this condition that requires such medication, and this medication has been around for ages, but because it is the highest in demand, it is the Gauche of its time, then we are going to charge this irate amount because we know people will have to pay it because that many people need it and that many doctors are prescribing it and so on and so forth. Yet it only requires these two ingredients.
That's kind of an interesting point.
That's what it seems like they do.
Because look at it this way, like your health foods, right? Your health foods are so expensive, yet you can grow that in your own garden and pay nothing. Just grow it, take care of it. Really, that's it. Yet, because there's this mentality that food comes from a magical place from nowhere land, like, we don't really think about that as consumers, right? So our responsibility is to make sure we live by eating and drinking, replenishing foods and waters. But point is, it's like, okay, we're so used to now chemically induced foods that preserve over time to help growth or make them more sustainable by growing them bigger with steroid injection. It's then, of course, getting back to let's make it natural again, like we did, like the Lord made his planet originally. So now we have to pay for it. We have to pay for what should be given to us technically freely. By biblical standards. Now, if we go to the store and we have to pay 5-6 times the amount of money as it would be for getting chemically induced foods, how does that make sense at all? Yeah, I get it. You want to make the food last a little longer, maybe get a little bigger, but you're putting all these chemicals into these plants and all of these, the vegetation, for example, and then you have to consume it. And basically you're forced to, because that's all we can afford. Nobody on this, okay, there's a reason why it's called 99% versus the 1% in this country. Is because we have been put in a position by conglomerates and major monopolies to be limited by the capitalism opportunities that we can have as the 99%. It's so hard of a market to get into. Like, if you want to have your own business, for example, it's now so hard to get into your own business because you can't compete against huge conglomerates. A lot of the businesses that are out there right now are conglomerate based. So now when you're trying to afford things like food, you're based your income on lower wages that haven't increased over time. So your inflation's going up, but yet your margin of getting income is just barely marginal. So when you have inflation with your food market, your medications, your doctor's office visits have to go up because insurance companies are demanding things that shouldn't be demanded. I mean, it's all... as someone mentioned earlier in Lion King, it's a circle of life. It's the circle of life for greed.
Yeah.
It's making us hurt more and more. It's like the thumb of these giants are just pressed on you even more because you're suffering, having to work 2 income jobs just to be able to maintain your health needs, cost-wise. And it goes back to the whole point of cost. Because now you have to be able to maintain and pay for the costs, at least on a payment to payment basis, because there ain't no way you're going to afford $200,000 bills if you've been in the hospital that couldn't be paid for by your insurance company because the deductible was so high. Though it just adds up. It adds up. And it keeps adding up. This not we're just talking about money either. We're talking about the stress behind it, the health behind it, the ability to take care of yourself behind it. You have to have someone fight for you. It's almost required now. Or you're just gonna really kind of put yourself in a health risk scenario even more so. So now COVID comes along and punches us all in the gut, and then now that's just another wonderful toy in the playground that you have to worry about, of this craziness. So anyways, my point is everything is in a relationship with each other to keep a lot of the people in need oppressed. And it always, I hate to say it always comes down to cost. If everybody had all the money in the world, we could probably find medicine somewhere. We can probably find some, and it wouldn't be about greed. It wouldn't be about having more money than the other person or being with the Joneses. It would be like, okay, now everybody's equal. So if we somehow took that out, regulated the cost, that's the biggest issue, really. Cost. And the other part is we used to have a regulation when it comes to monopolies, and that kind of started going away slowly with the Reagan era in the early 80s. When that got removed, regulation got removed, it opened the door quite a bit for monopolies to start slowly, or I should say companies that started becoming bigger and bigger and bigger because they kept on buying out smaller companies and then invading other smaller towns like Walmart. And then all of a sudden, all these smaller businesses are closing. So, put two and two together, you're having a problem with conglomeration. So that's a problem that is actually taking out capitalism. Capitalism should not be conglomeratory. Capitalism should be equal opportunity for all, period.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're dealing with greed and cost. So there you go. That's our country in a nutshell. So, land of the free.
Unfortunately, it is. And I'm not saying that the Canadian healthcare system is, great or wonderful whatsoever.
Yeah, everybody's got their issues, right? I'm not saying we're the worst. It's just everybody has a version of what's bad too. I mean, it really does come down, and I agree with you, Carrie. It can come down to, like, let's say you're in Canada, there could be some things that are not beneficial that could still pin down the people in need. Tim made a few comments about that in Israel. There's certain different variations of that healthcare system that does not work. That could be fixed. So there's always that. I mean, we could always strive to make a system better than what it is. Now, the question is, are those governments or lobbyists or whatever you want to call them willing to make the effort to change that, to make it better? And I mean, obviously, I can't speak for Canada or Israel, but I can definitely tell you that the U.S. right now, we're definitely stuck in a rut when it comes to healthcare at the moment. It's one of our biggest issues, as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion. But I agree with you, Carrie. It's different in other areas, and it could be worse for others. I mean, there's so many other countries out there that I can only imagine what they're dealing with because they have zero health care at all. And they're just sitting in their cultures, camps or tribal, areas, and sitting there trying to, do what they can with their bare hands, dirt, water, and some cloth, just to get through the day with bad health. So, I mean, we have to count our blessings where we can. I definitely agree to that. It's just, you can always make something better, no matter where you're at. And you see something on a decline like what the U.S. is going through right now, especially in healthcare. We've got enough people going homeless, bankrupt. Our homeless is going sky high astronomically these last 2 years in our country. It's getting real bad. But, it's like, we'll just call it a modern day Rome. That would be the best way to explain it. You can't.
I think
go ahead.
We need to make sure Carrie gets her rest in the hospital so she can get out of
Carrie,
the
we got
hospital.
passionate, didn't we? You need to get your rest, hon. I'm so sorry. We got really on a passionate topic there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. And
It hits the heart.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to watch her to go through it too. So, I mean, I can only imagine what you guys have to go through. Carrie, bless you, sweetheart. You've been, obviously, you've been trying to recover too. So, thank you for, hanging in there with us. Obviously, that takes a lot, especially when you're trying to recover. So,
Yeah.
our heart goes out to you.
I think we put some people to sleep though.
Hey, they'll wake up, probably see the rest of this, and maybe they'll throw in, hey, that was a good video, even though I fell asleep. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so totally understandable. We're up at, if the clocks didn't turn back, we'd be still here at 5:14
Yeah.
a.m.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Even though it's 4:14 now, Eastern.
Yeah, my phone says 5:14 right now, so I don't know what time it is.
Yeah, the clock
Yeah, I
already
lost track.
changed, so it
So-
would
I
still feel
just
like
know-
5:14 when it's because it jumped back. So
Yeah, I just know the whole floor is dark and
Yep.
try to talk low.
Well, I hope you get some rest. Temp, I agree with your statement too. It's something that doesn't take place in one night. It does have to take. Change has to happen. It has to happen quick. Meaning the steps have to be started, not just okay. We need to be. We don't have to fear it. We just have to take the steps and have courage to move forward with it. That's the first step. Anyways, so we'll go ahead and close up shop. We've had a great night. It's great community talk. Great seeing everybody coming on here this late at night. The Midnight Madness. So, Carrie, thank you so much for hanging in there with us,
dusk
girl.
to dawn.
It dusk to dawn. Yeah, we might as well call it.
Having me.
Absolutely. But I'll go ahead and say, we'll start with you, Carrie. We'll go ahead and if you have any closing comments, go right ahead. Floor is yours.
I'm just really hoping I can get home for my birthday on Tuesday.
Yes.
Happy pre-birthday, by the way.
Yes.
Let's real quick, everybody, give Carrie some hearts in chat that are still here anyway.
I don't think anybody's left.
We got like 10 left, maybe a couple.
I think everybody went
Anyways,
to bed.
comments later when you can see the video again. Comments, hearts. Give this girl some love.
But, yes.
Happy pre-birthday. Hopefully we'll get you out of that hospital so you can enjoy it. If we could drive there and pick you up and take you to the beach, we will do it.
I know, I've been here too long now.
But we hope you get some good rest. Go ahead and finish your closing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that was it.
Well-
Ron's still in the house.
Thank you, Tim, for representing everybody else. He's throwing them hearts out like a gangster.
Thank you, Tim.
Oh, man.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Cracking up.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, that's good.
so
Yvonne.
much.
Awesome. Yvonne's helping out.
All
the hearts.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Yvonne. Thank you to everybody. You guys are so sweet.
Glad we can.
I really appreciate it. And Gina, thank you so much for the prayers.
Of course.
Like,
You are in God's hands.
I'm telling you, they're making a difference. I must say, I feel it.
Oh, amen.
And so I can't thank you enough, honey. So thank you. Thank you.
Aw.
And thank you to everybody. And yeah, let's be the best we can be and go from here.
Awesome.
Just learning and learning to be better every day.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Amen, Carrie. Thank you so much. Great,
Thank you.
kind words. Very inspirational. All right, Gina, wonderful wife. You got the floor. What would you like to close with, my dear?
I'm going to close with a testimony
All right.
for another friend of mine. And of about, I don't know, a handful of years back, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she actually, with her faith, she didn't even go through the chemo and stuff. She's just one of the biggest prayer warriors I know, strongest believers. And I mean, everything's always in God's hands. He knows what's going to happen in the long run. And hers happened to be a miracle where she got the surgery to remove it, but she didn't go through any chemo or anything. And she would just raise her hands in worship all the time and saying that, you know, Lord, that was her physical therapy. They put you through physical therapy after, you know, the procedures and stuff. That was her physical therapy. She said, I'm just going to take it upon myself to praise the Lord, lifting my hands in worship that I'm healed. And sure enough, she did not have to go through any chemo, and no more cancer showed up besides, you know, what they took out for the breast tissue. And now, recently some labs showed something, and we're steady praying. And she did give a praise report the other day that the labs are already improving again, and she is you know, fascinating the doctors and stuff. Wow. Because she's
I'm fist pumping over here. Sorry, I know who she's talking about.
A walking, breathing, living miracle. And, you know, Christ conquers cancer. So, I don't know. That just got put on my heart to share that.
It's funny you say that. They said the same thing about me last year when I came out of my coma. I didn't mean to interrupt, though. I am sorry.
No, that's fine.
Testimonies are definitely important.
They said that they didn't understand how I was bouncing back so quick. I still suffer,
but God.
I mean,
But God.
They said that that if I still have symptoms, like so much time after, then they would be permanent. So I bounced back as much as I could, but yeah, still left over with some stuff. So, but I do believe in miracles, and I know they told my family to prepare for my death, and it just happened to be the doctor's last idea that happened to save my life. So, and I'm a strong fighter, so.
Yes.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I totally understand what your friend is feeling and going through.
Yeah. Yeah, we rebuke the negativity and we claim the goodness of God. Glory, healing power.
Cheryl says happy birthday to you as well,
Yes.
Carrie.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, everybody. You guys are so sweet.
So, well, that's I guess my final words for today. I'm sorry if I got deep into the medical side of things.
Don't have to say sorry at all.
Never apologize for
When it
that.
comes to testimony, absolutely not. Medical or whatever.
But
What they
love you
even say.
guys, and yep, just keep going strong.
All right. Well, I
By
guess
hitting
Thank
that
you.
like button. Punch
hit the
it.
like button. Hit it. Smash that
Punch with all that strength.
subscription button. It's free.
Yes. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and all
Share.
that good stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Carrie, for coming on board. Lisa, thank you for coming in today, sharing with us some awesome stories. Hawaii, and that was fun. And of course, everybody in chat, thank you, Temp, Cheryl, Yvonne was in there for a while. We had Dragonfly Kisses, and I know I'm leaving out some names, but it's at that point where my brain's going, I'm going to shut down. So it's all good. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard. Thank you, my wonderful wife, for being just who you are. So I thank you, everybody, for coming aboard today. Again, as everybody so eloquently stated, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button so you get the latest and greatest from the Gauche. Also, don't forget to go to our link tree that has all of our links. It has our GoFundMe for the system to be fully upgraded so we can give you the best content. You can go through, of course, we have a couple other options, PayPal as well as the Cash App available. So if you choose to donate there, some good options there, however you're comfortable. And of course, we have our community link in there as well for Telegram. So if you want to join us, it's available there as well. I'd love to see you guys there. We'll see you again here online live on YouTube. We also have a Rumble account. So we'll be, for the time being, all our videos will go over there. We haven't gone live on Rumble yet, but that will be something we will be doing soon. But in the meantime, everybody stay good to each other. Be blessed. Have a great night's sleep if you're about to go to bed. And good morning to those that are just waking up, getting your coffee and your day started. I'm glad I could be a part of that with me and Gina here as well as everybody else. So God bless everybody and have a great rest of your night or rest of your day. Till the next time. Peace.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.